Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. Today is our last final day, the grand finale, and I'm so excited everyone is here. I see a few friendly faces and a few of you I don't know yet. So since we don't know each other that well, I would love it if you could drop it in the chat where you're joining us from and what are you looking forward to most. I know it is Thursday. We have a 3-day weekend coming. Some of you who have to work tomorrow or get to work tomorrow, but I would love to know if you have anything in the plans. I'm here in the United States by Madison, Wisconsin, and it's our summer season, so I sure do have a lot of plans. So please welcome and let us know in the chat. I know a few folks were coming just a little bit late. I'm not going to talk too long because I also have a very special friend and a speaker to introduce today. My name is Justyna Nielsen. I am a CEO of Magnetic Brand and your host today at the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit, transforming from solopreneur to SEO. So, good morning. It's day 3, and today I am introducing my good friend, a longtime friend. And just in case you guys didn't know, I'm originally Polish, and so she is. So we have a few things in common, but what she has a special gift. I'm hoping that she will show with us today. That's why I invited her over. Hello, Anya.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, good.
It's just like any
Good.
other time with you and me on Zoom, except
Yeah.
there's a few couple people watching.
Yeah.
You just
It's
see
full.
you and
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes,
Mm.
and I know we have a lot more that joined, but couldn't quite make it quite the 3 days. So we'll have a few watching replay. And if you're one of them who wants to own all these recordings forever, make sure you upgrade to the VIP because Anya, tell us, what are you showing us or teaching us today?
So today I would like to guide you through a short, simple process that will shift your inner energy.
Ooh.
And when I feel like this is something often overlooked in business conversations, and it's our frequency. Like as entrepreneurs, we hear a lot to focus on strategy and action and productivity. But if you're operating from a frequency of overwhelm or stress or doubt or just survival mode, then the results will reflect that. And very often it happens that people like you do all the right things, but you still feel stuck. It's like, what the heck? Like, these mentors, these coaches like telling me all these steps and I'm doing them, and then the results are not what we expect. And then it ends up like we feel burned out, disconnected, losing the enthusiasm for the work that we love. And that happens because the inner energy creates our reality. And when we are operating, it affects our decisions, it affects how people respond to us, it affects what opportunities come to us. It's like we create everything. And when we master our frequency, this is when the world will reflect just different opportunities, different people, different situations. And the good part is that you don't have to figure it out all mentally. In my work, I guide people, I help people shift this inner energy, release resistance, release stuck emotions, and connect with this part of us, the most divine, loving, unconditionally loving, eternally peaceful, and infinitely wise part of us, what I call our inner voice. And in this process today, it won't be exactly what I do with most of my sessions are one-on-one, they go very deep, but we'll do a version that can be like a small sample of it. Like, how does it feel when you shift your energy within a few minutes? Like, what clarity shows up? Like, how do you see the world differently? And yeah, so if you're ready to play, we can I can guide you. I don't know, Justyna, do you have any questions?
Yeah, no, I think you did a really good job explaining it. And let me just guys tell you that whether you're spiritual or not, if you are, then I know you've heard about higher vibrations and the benefits of them, right? I tried or I signed up for a calibration session with Anya, and I don't think she can explain it well enough.
No, you have to
The
do
thing.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's almost you have to do it because even though, yes, I am spiritual and I believe in frequencies and I know love has a higher frequency than hate or other words, and I know that words and thoughts are connected and make us feel, and I know there's an authentic me inside, right, that gets to guide my vision instead of the external influences and the programming and everything. But until you try
Mhm.
it, really don't know. So I'm gonna drop a link for Anya, and I highly encourage you to sign up for a calibration session with her to tune into higher frequencies and yummy emotions. But specifically, when you sign up with one-on-one with her, you tune into your higher power, which is your pure thinking, and that's what it did for me. It was amazing because it was talking, but it
Mhm.
wasn't what I was thinking on surface level, right? It was
Mhm.
like uncovering, oh, this is what I really feel, and think, oh, this feels so aligned. This is so me. Yes, this is
Mhm.
my inner wisdom. So just
Yeah.
let put it in there that you have to try it. So I'll drop her link. Make sure you check her out and sign up. Please take it away, Anya. I don't want to spoil your time. So thanks so much
No,
for
okay.
being here and
Yeah,
joining.
so I work with people who are aware, like they've already done some inner work and they've already are aware of energy and emotions and that they understand the energy part, but they don't know how to get, okay, I know I shouldn't feel this stress or fear or overwhelm, but they try to get into peace through the mind. And the process that I'll guide you through will go beyond the mind today. Okay?
Yes, yes, love it.
Okay, okay. So I'm going to guide you, and it will be just a taste, like a simple emotional tuning process. And I wanted to give you like a quick experience how it feels when you shift your inner frequency. Three emotions that we'll tune today are appreciation, ease, and confidence. Whenever you're ready, you can just close your eyes. I should probably start with gentle. Okay, there's a little bit of instruction that I forgot to mention. So we'll tune into each of these emotions individually. Appreciation will be first, and then ease, and then confidence. I will guide you to find a memory from your past when you felt this moment. And then we'll go within, you'll tune within, and you'll find a place, like emotions are called feelings because you can feel them physically in your body. And you will find sensations somewhere in your body where you will be able to feel these yummy emotions. And I'll guide you to make this feeling like as big as possible. And when you can't make it any bigger, I'll ask you to touch two fingers together for just literally a second or two. And it's important that with each emotion, you touch the same two fingers, okay? Because later we'll fire them all up and it will be holding the same two fingers. So not different fingers, but the same fingers. Okay, so this is the instructions. So now, whenever you're ready, just close your eyes, get super comfortable. Allow yourself to just relax, take a deep breath. Exhale. And let's play. So the first emotion is appreciation. I want you to go back into your memory and find one specific moment in time when you felt this beautiful feeling of appreciation. And it has to be like one specific moment. It doesn't matter when it is. It could be something from decades ago, or it could be something from yesterday morning where you appreciated maybe your morning coffee. But one specific moment, maybe when somebody prepared delicious meal for you and you are appreciating that. Or maybe you were somewhere enjoying magnificent sunset or beautiful landscape, just looking at it and just full of appreciation. Maybe it's a moment where you were listening to music that like really deeply moves you. Just find one moment. And when you have this moment, I want you to go back and be in this moment now. Like imagine you are in that moment in the past. And I want you to notice, what do you see around? Are you alone? Are you with somebody else? Are you standing or sitting? Just notice as many details as you can and allow yourself to feel this feeling of appreciation as much as possible. Just feel it in your body. Go within and notice where in your body this feeling of appreciation shows up as a physical sensation. It might be in your chest, in your solar plexus, maybe in your belly. It could be in your fingertips or your head. Wherever it is for you, it doesn't have any meaning where you feel it. But allow yourself to be in this moment from the past, feel appreciation, and feel it physically in your body. And I want you to go like fully with your awareness into this location in your body and notice, how does this feeling of appreciation look like there? Notice if it feels heavy or light, if it feels like this feeling of appreciation is moving maybe in some way, like vibrating or pulsating or spinning, or maybe it's completely still. Just notice how it feels to you. And feel it, and I want you to see, what does it look like this feeling of appreciation is made out of? Does it feel like it's something solid or more like energy or liquid, or maybe it's just light? Just notice how it feels for you. Notice if this feeling has a color. And if it had a color, what color would it be? Is it something bright or soft? Is it maybe sparkly or maybe multicolor, maybe iridescent? Just go within and feel this feeling of appreciation as much as you can. And then I want you to allow yourself to feel this feeling even more. Maybe even imagine doubling this feeling of appreciation and notice what happens. What happens with this energy or the light or this, I don't know, fairy dust, whatever it looks like for you? Does it expand? Does it maybe get brighter or bigger? Maybe it starts beaming outside of you. Just see what happens if right now you give yourself permission to feel even more appreciation. Just make this feeling of appreciation as big as possible. And when you can't make it any bigger, I want you to touch two fingers. Remember that will be the same two fingers each time, together for 1 second, and then take them apart. I'm assuming that you did it. The next emotion that we'll tune into will be a feeling of ease. So again, it's the same process. Go back into your memory and find one moment when you felt ease. And it could be a moment when just your body just told you, like, you don't have to think about, and you could just let go of everything. Maybe you were floating in an ocean or in a pool, just feeling supported, just so much ease. Maybe you were swinging in a hammock, just so easy, no effort at all. Maybe it's a moment when you were with somebody that you feel super safe and relaxed with, and you were able to just be with this person without any effort, without needing to perform in any way. Just find one moment and go back into that memory and be in it, this very specific moment. And while you're in this memory, I want you to notice where this feeling of ease shows up inside of you. Where do you feel it as a physical sensation? And again, it can be anywhere in your body. Just notice where ease shows up most clearly for you. It could be your shoulders, it could be your torso somewhere, or your head, maybe even your feet. Go fully into that specific spot and notice how this emotion looks like there. How would you describe it? Is this ease light or heavy? Is it like a light and airy, or maybe like ease and it feels like grounded, nicely heavy, like a weighted blanket feeling? Allow yourself to just fully feel this sensation of ease. Notice if there is movement to it, if there's some flow, maybe, or maybe it's completely still. Just see how ease feels to you. And what is this ease made out of? Is it energy? Is it maybe just liquid? Is it maybe fairy dust or something solid like this weighted blanket? And now I want you to allow yourself to feel this feeling of ease even more. Imagine turning up the volume like on an old radio on this feeling of ease and feel it even more and see what happens. Make it as big as possible. Does it expand? Does it get maybe more intense? Does it maybe start filling out other parts of your body? Just notice what happens when you allow yourself to feel as much ease as you possibly can. And allow yourself to get to this like biggest, yummiest feeling. And once you do, then again, touch the same two fingers together and then let them go. The third emotion will be emotion of confidence. So again, when was the time when you felt confident? Just find one specific time. It might be a moment where you looked into a mirror, where you were dressed up for some special occasion, and you just knew confidently that you looked just right. Or it might be a moment where when you finished some big task or a project and it was done and you looked at your work and you just felt so confident and really good about yourself. Or it could be a moment where you were doing something that you're really good at, maybe painting or writing or swimming or cooking or mountain biking, something that you just love doing and you feel super confident when you're doing it. So find this one moment and go back there and feel this feeling of confidence as much as you can. Tune into it. Be in that moment, feel confidence, and again, notice where it shows up in your body. Where is confidence now? And wherever it is, I want you to dive with your pure awareness into that spot in your body, feel it, and see how this confidence looks like there. Is it in your chest, your arms, your belly? Just be there in this location and Do your best to describe to yourself this feeling of confidence. Does it have any movement? Is it still? Notice if it feels like energy or liquid or maybe something more solid. Sometimes there's like this solid column along the spine that people feel when they tune into confidence. What color is this confidence? Or if it had the color, what color would it be? Just notice this. And if you allowed yourself right now to feel this confidence even more, what happens in your body? Does it get stronger? Does it get bigger? Does it get maybe brighter? Does it spread? Does it maybe expand or radiate outside of you? What does it do? Just feel it and see it and fully and completely make it nice and big. And again, when you can't make it any bigger, touch the same two fingers together and then take them apart. And now, let's fire up all these three feelings together and see what comes out. So I want you to touch the same two fingers and hold them together. Hold these two fingers together that you were touching before and notice how these emotions fire up together in your body. Might be like a delicious cocktail or a smoothie of sensations. I want you to be aware how these emotions blend together in your body. Notice if they expand, they might be like the same, they might feel the same, or they might feel completely different when you fire them all out. And notice what might be different. Imagine as you're feeling these sensations, this beautiful blend of appreciation, ease, and confidence in your body as a physical sensation. Imagine going through the rest of your day feeling this way. Imagine going through the day being in this beautiful bubble of appreciation, ease, and confidence. Notice what might be enhanced about your day. Notice what's different about your thoughts, what you feel like doing or maybe not doing. Notice what decisions you make or from what space you make decisions. Notice what's different when you interact with other people, when you bring this energy of appreciation, ease, and confidence to your interactions. Notice if your posture or breathing or just how you present yourself is different in any way. And now I want you to just bring your attention back into your body, to here and now, noticing these sensations, noticing what part of your body feels relaxed or soft or energized. What part of your body feels like the energy is moving, maybe in some beautiful, yummy way. Then take some nice, delicious, deep breaths, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I don't want to open my eyes.
No.
Can we stay there a little bit longer, please? I know we have our next
Well, we're
keynote.
on time, so it's just doing it
Just
as
no,
fast
but
as.
this is more of how I feel thanks to you and your
Mhm.
calibration. What about you guys? How do you feel? Those in
Yeah,
the
I'm curious.
yeah.
You're welcome, Jessica. Yeah, you're very welcome. It's fun for me.
Jessica is another dear friend of mine, and yes, thanks for being here, Jessica. So, do you feel Oh yeah, I want to know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. So we'd love to know in the chat for anyone watching, have you experienced shift and how does it feel now? And let me tell you, her calibration session, I don't know how long it was because I was inside of me. Yeah, but they're definitely longer than just this. And it
Cal
feels,
yeah, calibrations are also different because this was just like tuning into the yumminess. But in calibrations, we go straight into, okay, what's the wobble about now in your life? And we release this energy first. And then it's tuning. Like when you release the resistance, release whatever doesn't support you inside, emotionally or energetically. You release, I call them beanbags. We release emotional beanbags. Then we tune into this yumminess, and then we connect with the inner voice, and magic
yeah,
happens
yes, exactly.
from
Yeah.
there. All
Yes,
the
I'm glad you said
answers,
that.
yeah, all the answers come, the clarity comes. Whatever your mind has been chewing on, like every mind has something in life that it can't figure out. The answers from the inner voice are, coming through, and it's beautiful.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because yes, there's a difference, right? So when
It's
as
a
one-on-one, she does it specific to you and your inner being versus here without asking questions. She can only guide you in a general emotion toward general emo
yeah.
direction, right? So I love that. I know people who want to tune in more, and I know you get a lot of comments about your voice, how calming it is. So please tell us. I know you have a free gift for us. What is it?
Yes, yes. So if you enjoyed this emotional tuning, I literally within the last 2 weeks created this series of short guided videos called Tuning In. And okay, Justyna, you're just sharing now the link. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So there's several videos, and I will be adding more. I have a list of emotions that I want to help people get tuned in. And each one will help you connect with a different high frequency emotion, like confidence, like joy, like peace, like clarity. And in just a few minutes, you can sign up through the link that was shared here in the chat, and you'll have access to it. And it's a beautiful way. They're about 7 minutes long. It's a beautiful way to just reset your energy throughout the day. Everybody can find 7 minutes, and you'll feel different, and you'll act different. And
Yes, I
the
love
world
that.
would act differently towards you too.
Yes, and if you want to have a one-on-one session with Anya, she generously offered us a special offer, which is 35% off your initial calibration session. Enter the code NEXTLEVEL35. This is only for our summit attendees. So thank you, Anya, for your
You're
generous
very
offer.
welcome. Yes.
And I
So
have a
this
discount.
offer is also like until August 15th. The session doesn't have to happen before that, but there is, which is, you wrote
Oh
it
yeah,
there.
you do
Yeah.
have it. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Just saw that. Wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah, so please jump on it and contact her. And for those watching replay, we'll make sure to have it next to your video as well because it's worth it if you're struggling. And I know you mentioned a lot of things, but it can be any kind of life changes, life decisions, limited blocks, or anything on your mind that you really want to tune in to your inner wisdom, inner guidance, and make decisions from an authentic point of view.
From
Anya's
your inner being, from your like inner voice, different words that people use is from your higher self, from your inner being, from your true essence, intuition, spirit, soul. Like we connect with that aspect.
Yes, I love that. And I know
Mhm.
it worked for me. Let me tell you, I was surprised how wise my inner wisdom is, my inner being.
And it's not
And
just
all the
yours, like
answers.
it's everybody's is as wise as yours. Like we all have it within. We really don't have to find the answers outside, just to practice this connecting and then living life from this aspect versus the mind that's usually stressed and worried and wants to fix and control reality.
Yes, that's very, very true. So it's
Yeah.
great for entrepreneurs. If you are in a messy middle and your next level is just a step away, this will get you closer. So sign up with Anya. I appreciate you coming on today. I know
Thank you for having me.
I was out of your comfort zone, and thank you for creating these freebies for entrepreneurs. Know that you make a difference and you matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Justyna.
Okay, welcome those just coming in. You are watching the next entrepreneur. Happy Thursday. You're watching the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Justyna Nielsen, host, and I have more amazing guests today. So if you're watching live, stick around till 2 p.m. CST today, as we'll have many amazing experts helping guiding you to your next level. If you're watching replay, we have more for you as well. I want to welcome, without further ado, our next guest, Lena. Let me bring you up to the stage. Hello, Lena. And I think I have to unmute you. Oh, you got unmuted. Wonderful. Hi, Lena. How are you?
I am good. Good morning. I think it's morning for just about everybody, so safe to say good morning.
That's true. At least everybody here in East Coast. I know people are apparently day three is more difficult than day one and two, but people are still trickling in, coming in. I'm sure we'll have a lot. So thank you, everyone in the audience. Lena, I want to make sure I pronounce your last name right. Can you say your last name for me?
It's highest.
Okay, I was gonna say that. So it's Lena Kayas from Atlas Paradigm. And she is here today to show us how to stop manifesting bills, your three keys to unlock your business potential. And I don't know anyone in the audience that would say, I don't need that because I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, it's a whole different ball game with money. You don't only have personal bills, now you have business bills on top of that, right? Different than when you work in corporate when someone's paying you. So please tell us who you are, like what do you do, what is your magic, what is your passion, and whom do you help?
Absolutely. First of all, Justina, thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure and such an honor to be here. So, my name is Lena, and I am a money manifestation coach. I joke that I'm your modern day fairy. What do I mean when I say that? I do bring an element of magic to the business world to help my clients break through the income plateau. So, what is an income plateau? If you have ever tried to get fit, I don't even want to say lose weight. Let's just say if you tried to get fit, you probably started a program, you probably started watching what you eat, you might even made it to the gym a time or two, and you felt better and the clothes started feeling looser. And you were like, this is gold. And then fast forward a couple of months and the number on the scale doesn't budge. What happened? You hit a plateau. Now, is that the end of the world? No. But what does it take to break that plateau? You need to do something different to bring in that next level. It is not different in business. There are a lot of times when we start a business, we have that passion in the heart and the vision in our mind, and we're like, this is going to be amazing. I'm here to build generational wealth. And our initial thought is, if I can only make 5,000 a month, we are thriving. Okay, so you hit that goal, and then a month goes by, a quarter goes by, a year goes by, and you're at that 5,000 mark. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel like it's safe. It feels like it's sane. That's where I come in. So I work with people who own a business, who have been in a business for a hot minute, and they're ready to take it to the next level. So this Next Level Entrepreneur Summit is just my manifestation come to life.
I love it. I love how you described the problem we have and the solution that you offer. And yes, you're right. I actually hear that a lot from my clients, how they're not necessarily beginners, they're somewhere in they call it the messy middle is the term, and they want to go to the next level. The reason why they really started the business, right? And it's more impact and more income, really hand in hand, right? Because we shouldn't have to choose which one we do. We get to get paid while helping and serving others.
Absolutely.
That's a money mindset for us anyway. I don't want to take a lot of time from you because I know you have your own talk and presentation, and I really want to learn from you. And you covered what you do and whom you help. Let's take it away, and maybe I'll just come in at the end in case I have any questions left over. And don't forget at the end to mention your free gift and offer. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So I'm a Gemini, you guys. So I love a good interaction. So while I'm going to do the talking, I do hope that you do some chatting because that's going to let me know that A, you can hear me, B, this is resonating, and C, you're getting something out of it. Because here is the truth. All of you are here as investors, right? You're investing your time, you're investing your energy, and I don't take this lightly. So I want to make sure that you actually walk away today having some tangible nuggets that are going to help you manage your business better, run your finances better, and just in general, untangle that Christmas lights bulb that sometimes our thoughts create in our mind. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about manifestation because honestly, I get it. Manifestation gets a lot of bad rap. What do I mean by that? People joke, people laugh, they secretly Google it in the middle of the night. It's that shady friend that is cool to hang around with, but you will never bring it home to your mama. Let me tell you something. Manifestation is not magic. And also, it's not a gift that is only available for select few. It is our original factory setting. We all manifest every hour of every day. What do I mean by that? Manifestation is nothing more than taking a formless substance, which is a thought, processing it through your body, which is what we call embodying, adding density to it, and eventually materializing it in your 3D. So technically, if you look around you, everything you have manifested. Now, here is the fun fact. Not so fun, but we'll call it a fun fact. Universe, who is the magic behind your manifestation, is neutral. It doesn't have any morals. It doesn't understand good or bad. It is literally neutral. It will deliver what you order. How do you order? You pay attention. You focus on something. So when you focus on what you want, there is a high likelihood you're going to get it. If you focus on what you don't want, there is a high likelihood that you're going to get it. So what is the difference then between people who we consider lucky or fortunate and the rest who seem to be like tumbling in the waves of life? The people who are fortunate basically have learned to manifest intentionally. They get the principles. Now, it would be crazy for me to try and squeeze all of that information in like 20 minutes that we have together. But I do want to give you 3 keys that you can start using today, literally now, to help you create the momentum to start carrying you forward to what you want instead of tumbling in the waves of life. So here's the first key. Identity. You're like, wait, what? What do you mean identity? I know my identity. I know you do. Don't confuse identity with a personality. Identity is something that we choose to wear, to embody, to have. And truthfully, you have gone through several identities already in your life. There was a point in time when you identified as a high school student. Then there was a point in life when you identified perhaps as a parent or as a spouse. There was a point in your life where you identified as a business owner. Those are all identities. Now, here's what it means in the world of manifestation. Your identity defines your capacity to receive. Write it down. Your identity defines your capacity to receive. You can only hold the volume of money, opportunities, fortune, clients that you have a capacity to receive. Let me give you a visual. Let's say we're sitting down let's say Justyna and I are sitting down and we're having a coffee. And because it's a long day ahead, we're like, we just need that really good boost. So we are drinking espresso shots. You know how they come in the teeny tiny cup? It's really 2 sips, you're done. Now the time goes on and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're like, you know what? We should really transition to something else. So we're like, how about some herbal tea? That sounds good. Well, what do we need to do to enjoy our tea? We need to ditch the espresso cup and we want to get the tea mug. Because if we try to pour tea into the espresso cup, what is going to happen? It's going to spill over. There is not enough capacity to receive. So what you want is literally your espresso, your tea, your coffee, your martini. Your capacity to receive is the identity that you take on. So here's a very simple exercise. If you were to describe your identity today using 2 to 3 words, what would that be? Starting entrepreneur, struggling coach, mompreneur, solopreneur, helppreneur, don't know what I'm doing with my life, struggle bud, successful business owner. There is a name to the identity that you currently have. Okay, mom, CEO, creative, perfect. Anybody else? Drop it in the chat. What is your identity today? There is no right or wrong answer. You cannot fail at it. You are setting the baseline. What is your current identity? Because your current identity defines the capacity of what you're able to receive. And in order for you to receive that next level income, opportunity, business success, we want to upgrade your identity to the next level with the greater capacity. So what I do with my clients is we do the identity work where we define what their current identity is. And then we talk about what is that next level identity, because he or she is already there. And the reason it's important to name it is because that becomes the anchor in your day-to-day business to gauge, are you taking decisions? Are you making decisions? Are you taking actions in the identity of who you are right now? Or are you making the decisions in the identity of multi-million-dollar charge maker mom? Because let me tell you something. A struggling mompreneur at $2,000 a month and a multi-million-dollar change maker mom, these are different identity of the same person, but the capacity is so much greater. And guess what? The multi-million-dollar change maker mom will make certain decisions differently, will show up differently, and fun fact, will stop doing something that mompreneur is doing today. So that's your first shift. We identify the identity, and then we choose the next level identity to help you anchor that future and rein it into here and now. Little pro tip, ChatGPT can help you with that. What you can do is go into ChatGPT and you can write down everything about you today. Your day, your schedule, your wins, your challenges, and then say, name this identity. And it will give you some ideas that you can start with. Don't just rely on ChatGPT, but have it help you. And then you can say, okay, now here's what I would love. And you describe your ideal business, ideal clients, ideal date flow, ideal income, ideal schedule. Now name that identity and you will see the delta, you will see the difference. Without the capacity to receive, you cannot hold what you're calling in. Your current identity has gotten you as far as it could. This is your answer why so many people who win the lottery lose it all. Because lottery win is a huge volume of energy. If they don't immediately start expanding their capacity, they're trying to pour herbal tea into espresso shot. It spills over. Okay. Second key. There are little pesky pebbles that get in the energy hose of your life. Some people call them limiting beliefs. I call them mental blocks because it's not just a belief. There are some other components that contribute to that. Remember, we just talked about the capacity to receive? Okay. Let's say that we have upgraded your identity from an espresso shot to a tea mug. But you're carrying with you a whole bunch of limiting beliefs, mental blocks. They're literally like pebbles. Guess what's going to happen if you start putting those pebbles in your expanded capacity of a tea mug? It's going to eat up the capacity you just expanded. Isn't that a bummer? Now, let me tell you something. Your current income mirrors your current beliefs. And even your nervous system will allow you to get, hold, and receive in the future only the volume of energy that is a match to your beliefs. Never greater. So with that, the first question you want to ask yourself is, okay, if my current income represents and mirrors my beliefs, what are some of my beliefs that are keeping me where I am? Now, there are going to be like some very easy ones. Oh, I must have blocks. Oh, I don't come from money. Mom and dad thought about money all the time. Or in our family, we didn't talk about the money. That's fair. Those are all fair thoughts. But I encourage you to dig a little deeper and ask yourself a couple of questions. What do I believe about money? What is my relationship with money? Would I be comfortable talking about the house that I live in, the income that I make, the clients that I work with, the offers that I put out, the prices that I charge? What is my relationship with money? And then ask yourself, what was I taught about money growing up? Because let me tell you, we learn our relationship with money. When we're born, we're a clean slate. We're like, I found a quarter. That's awesome. Oh, I found another quarter. Ma, can I have $1? Can I have $5? Can I have $10? And then all of a sudden we're like, whoa, greedy. Go watch a cartoon. What do they pop in? 101 Dalmatians. Who has money in 101 Dalmatians? Cruella de Vil. There's your first image of a businesswoman. She has her own entrepreneurship venture. She makes money. She's a boss lady, and she kills puppies for fabric. What do you feel about becoming her? No, thank you. I had a client who couldn't figure out why every time we would get her to 50,000 a month, something would happen and she would roll back to 20. And then we just started chatting about her childhood. And she shared with me that she remembers the day when her mom got a big promotion at work. And within a week, mom filed for separation from dad. And she's like, it was all downhill after that. We had to move towns. I had to move schools. I was split between two homes. And then we both went silent. She goes, oh my God, money means pain. Money breaks families. I don't want to hurt my kids. I don't want to hurt my husband. I am subconsciously afraid that if I'm going to start making more money, I'm going to become my mom and I'm going to walk away. Mic drop. Those pebbles, those limiting thoughts that are swirling in our mind, they're blocking the energy hose that universe uses to deliver everything that you order, and also it takes up your capacity to receive. So, very easy exercise. What I would love for you to do when you're sitting down and you have free time is ask yourself, first of all, what belief is blocking my ability to receive? And if you're like, I don't really know, that's a tricky question, take it a step back. I would love to have $1 million business, but I can't because, and write down everything that comes to mind. Doesn't matter how realistic, how tangible, how big or small, how funny, silly, stupid, nobody's going to read it but you. Write it all down. And then, once you dumped it all out, once you purged, look for trends. Because guess what? Even though you might have written down 50 different why not, they're going to cluster into 2 to 3 trends. And then put them through the sifter. And your sifter, is this thought even mine? Is this thought even mine? Because if it's not, if you don't even believe it, you just simply heard it so many times that you assumed it as a fact, toss it, send it back to sender. Second question, if that thought is mine, is it a fact or could it be my perception? For example, in order for me to make more money, I have to work harder. Is that your thought? Do you even believe it? Or did you hear it enough from your family, from your friends, from the news that you started taking it as a fact? Let's say you're like, no, it's mine. I believe it. Okay. Is it a fact or could it be your perception? Because let me tell you, they're doing some road work here. And as I was driving by the other day, there are guys like pouring sweat, putting asphalt in that steaming hot black mass in the middle of July, and there is a white convertible driving by. Who is working harder? Who is driving that white convertible? So is working harder guaranteed to make you money? That seems more like a perception than a fact. And then the third and the last question you ask yourself, let's say the thought is yours, and let's say it's undeniable. For example, I have a client who inherited the business from her father, and her father died. That's undeniable. That's not a perception, that's a fact. The belief we were working through is she must run the business the way her father did. Does that thought serve me? That's your third question. Does that thought serve me? No. You can respect your dad, you can love his legacy, you can continue in his footsteps, and also being a young entrepreneur, you can choose to make changes to the business model to continue moving the business forward. That is the thought that serves her better. So once again, 3 questions you want to ask about any limiting belief that is pulling you back. Is it mine? Is it a fact? Or could it be my perception? What is the thought that serves me better? Because who is thinking the thoughts? You do. You have absolute 100% control of the thoughts you choose to think. And the way we form beliefs, these are just practiced thoughts that have been circling in our mind long enough on repeat to gain density and become a belief. Belief is nothing but a practiced thought that you have assumed to be the truth. The third key and the final key, your ego. Okay, you're like, wait, what? Ego is not what we tend to think about being selfish or self-centered or narcissistic. Ego is your basic protection mechanism. We're all born with it. Ego's responsibility is to keep you safe, not to prosper you. Ego is your bodyguard. When is it easier for the bodyguard to protect a celebrity? When they're sitting in their home or in a hotel room, like static, or when they are on a big stage in a stadium performing and moving all over the stage? No, duh. Obviously, when they're static in the room. That is ego's job, to keep you safe, meaning to keep you sane. So every time when you try something new, your ego that sits in your nervous system will kick up a storm and be like, change anticipated. Because ego doesn't know what that change will trigger or cause, it is safer to keep you where you are than to allow you to explore. With that said, let me give you a visual. Think of your ego as a guardian dog. I don't know how many of you have dogs in the house, and it's not even about the size of the breed. Like, there are some pretty ferocious, teeny tiny pups. But in my family, we have a Doberman, and he's our fifth over the course of 20 years. And we love that breed. But let me tell you something. As much as I love having a guardian dog in the house, where my husband and I can go and have dinner and not worry about our daughter being home by herself, I make sure that dog is trained. Because what I don't want to happen is the dog attacking friends, mailmen, squirrels, you name it. So this is exactly what you want to do with your ego. You want to tame it. You want to train it the same way you would train a pet. Your ego will always be there. Every time when you try to launch a new offer, expand your business, build a new relationship, sign a contract, there is going to be this initial whoa, because you are starting a change reaction. And your ego wants to step in and be like, we're not safe. It is your right to look at the ego and say, thank you for protecting me. Now he'll stay. So you want to look at your ego as your employee, as somebody on your staff, but not anybody who is sitting on your board of directors. Because if you do allow ego to run your business or run your finances or run your life, it is going to be super hard for you to dramatically expand and change your life, because ego will constantly constrict your capacity and slow down your momentum and create headwinds to slow you down, because it only knows how to keep you safe if you're keeping it sane. So to recap, today, when you have a free time, I want you to sit down and have a little conversation with yourself. If you love journaling, journal. If you love talking, have a conversation with the person in the mirror. If my beliefs are a mirror of what I have in my life, what do I believe today that is keeping me where I'm at? Good, bad, or indifferent? If I were to name my current identity, what would I name it? And also, what would I love my next level identity be? Okay. Let's look at the pebbles in my capacity jar. Are these limiting beliefs mine? Back to the sender. Is it a perception or a fact? What is the thought that will serve me better? And last but not the least, where is my ego on the current staff? What is it chirping in my ear and feeding that itty bitty shitty committee in my head, keeping me from being who I really am? Because it's giving me all of those lies about what will they think, what will happen, what if it doesn't work? That is ego just trying to keep you safe. Hey, I think I'm out of my time, Justyna.
Wow, amazing. Somehow you broke down a complicated thought. Let me add myself to their spot. Somehow you broke down into an easy to understand steps. And you're so right. Anyone in the audience, please drop some, aha moments in the chat for Lena, because she is just a wonderful, very amazing coach. We had a conversation prior to this, and I learned so much about myself, and I know I get to participate and go to my next level. I think I really need this. So I know there's some people in the audience who might also resonate. I know you have a free gift. I'm going to drop
Yep.
a link in the chat real quick. Can you tell us about it while I drop it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I would love for you to try is give manifestation a chance. Like, I know people call it woo and some call it BS, but you know what? Manifestation is like gravity. It actually doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It just works. Like, it is universal. So a free gift to you is I put together a 21-day do-it-yourself manifestation journey. It has prompts for every day of those 21 days, and it bookends with a free 30-minute chat with me where you literally practice on a small scale so you don't push your ego over the edge, on a small scale, manifesting something that you would love in your life. So that experience will literally guide you from the concept to completion. It is going to literally guide you how you want to describe your order to the universe, what it is that you would love to receive, how to create that end scene before you even live it. And then it will take you through 21 days of prompted little exercises to help you anchor it and bring it from the future into here and now. That's literally what manifestation is all about. Okay, so that's your free offer. Now, I totally understand that some of you are like, listen, friend, I've been doing self-awareness for a hot minute. I know what manifestation is. This seems a little too rudimentary. What else do you have? I have a really fantastic membership experience that you can try for a month, for 2 months, for life. I don't lock you in. As a matter of fact, if you decide that this is not for you, you cancel anytime on your end. You don't even have to tell me this. Now, what this membership is all about, it is called Life by Design. And what I do in this membership is I guide people on a weekly basis through very tangible, practical manifestation tips and practices that allows them to create the tailwinds and the momentum for the life and the business that they want. Because manifestation is a muscle. The more you practice this, the more fit you become. And eventually it does become your second nature. So you become the person who always gets that spot right in front of the restaurant when it's raining. You do become the person who wins that raffle basket. You do become the person who thinks about somebody and that person calls. You do become the person who just attracts clients who are, by the way, not just roadkill and anybody with a pulse, but people who are fun to work with and they actually pay. So that is the paid offer. You're welcome to try it for a month and see what you think about it. And if you love it, I would love for you to stay. If you're like, no, that's not for me, I totally respect that.
I bet they'll find out it is. So I love that offer. Thank you, Lena, for coming in today. I really appreciate you sharing your manifestation money wisdom. I have the question in the chat, and I hope everyone else is taking notes and journaling about this because it's very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Justyna Nielsen, your host. We have many amazing guests today, and we're running a few minutes behind, so I wanted to welcome real quick, without any further ado, our amazing AI expert, Brittany Long. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Brittany.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so excited that you're here today. I have been following you for a long time. You are the AI. I don't know if you have a nickname for AI, but I would say magician because it's
Thank
magic.
you.
I love that you had a few things. I don't want to take much. I know you have a hard stop, but I want you guys just to follow. First of all, she's gonna have some free gift for you, but follow Brittany online because when I follow her and she's a community, she is showing us real practical things you can do with AI, hands-on, and she's always a step ahead of what like a general population knows. I've been loving your AI clones, the clone me. So please tell us, what are you going to be showing us today, Brittany?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically when I do presentations like this, people are like, is this real Brittany or is this your clone? And it's real Brittany. But I'm really excited to kind of get into this today. We're talking about creating your AI dream team, and I just want to make sure everybody can see the slides.
Yes.
Can you just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can see it? If you can see it right now, perfect. Okay. All right, so today we're talking about creating your AI dream team. And if there's anybody here that's ever thought, man, I wish there was just 10 more of me. Like, you don't really want to have a bunch more people to manage. You don't want to have to hire a bunch of people or train them or any of those things. But you're like, if there's only 10 more of me, anybody ever feel that way? That is what we're going to solve for today. And so this is Create Your AI Dream Team. I'm going to show you a few things today. We'll talk about the future of business and why creating an AI dream team will make a huge difference for you. We'll talk about the 6 key AI team members that can replace $4,750 in freelancers each month, and then also daily AI workflow using an AI team, just to give you an idea of what it actually looks like in practice to have AI team members. I also want to say that I have 2 amazing team members. I don't replace them. I'm not planning on replacing them. I love my team members. And I recognize that if we want to grow, we need some of that extra support. And so we have those AI team members to help. At the end, I do have a special Moneymaker GPT. So if you are looking for ways to increase your revenue in your business, this GPT will help you and you can get it for free. All right, so here's a breakdown of the future of business, the future of AI, and how much it's changing things right now. So let's say 2 years ago, before I was like a super user of AI, maybe actually a little more, maybe 2.5 years. Let's say before ChatGPT came out, this is what 120 hours would get me. So if I'm working 30 hours a week, and I know many people work way more than that, but let's just say, and I'm working 30 hours a week, this is about what I could get done in a month. I say this is what I could get done, but there's all this mindset stuff and whatnot. But like in theory, 4 YouTube videos, 4 emails, 4 blog posts, 15 social posts, 8 reels, planning a launch, lots of messages to Helen, who's my mindset coach, spiraling a little bit. There's a lot of things, that I could get done in that time. And while I could get those things done, a lot of those things also weren't happening. Like I can tell you for sure that before ChatGPT, I was definitely not getting 4 YouTube videos out a month. But because of AI, because of ChatGPT, because of other AI tools, I can take this right here, and instead of that taking me an entire month, I can get that done in a day. And so when we're looking at the difference between people who are using AI and people who aren't, there's this great divide that's happening. And it's a divide between people who are time rich versus time poor, people who have the time resources to do stuff because they're not doing everything manually, and then the people who are doing everything manually. It's the difference between this creative CEO where you're not in the stuck operator mode, you're in this like thinking about what's best for your business long term. It's the difference between being scalable and unsustainable and then being wealthy versus scraping by. And the people who can really adjust now and really lean into AI as much as possible now are going to be the ones that are on the easier side of that great divide. So if you get nothing else from this presentation, this would be my recommendation to start asking yourself every single day, can AI do this for me instead? Now that I will say too, there's some things that AI can do for me that I'm like, you know what, I really like doing that. And so I continue to do that. So when we say, can AI do this for me? It doesn't mean you have to do everything that it can do for you. If there's stuff you really enjoy doing and it brings joy and value to your life, then absolutely. But there's so many things that we do that's mundane, that slows us down, that AI can help us with instead. And when you start to ask yourself, can AI do this for me instead? You start to see like this whole world opens up. Now, every business needs 4 key parts in order for them to grow. The first one is internal and external traffic. That is more eyeballs on your offer, both now and in the future. We need sales, a way to sell to the people who are looking at that offer. Fulfillment, which would be delivery of what you promised. And then systems, so that you aren't like the bottleneck and wanting to burn everything to the ground. Now, I'm curious, let me know in the chat which of these, traffic, sales, fulfillment, or systems, are 50% or more reliant on you. If you don't do them, it doesn't happen. Let me know A, B, C, or D, which of those are at least 50% or more reliant on you. And you can just put the letter in the chat. I'm just curious to see where everybody's at so I can be as helpful as possible. And I'll wait just a second. All right, Justyna said A, B, C. Julie says B. Yeah, I see a lot, A and B especially. I see those, a lot of people are like, man, if only I had more traffic, then I could make more sales. Or if only I had another team member who could help with fulfillment, then I could make more sales. So it's always interesting to see. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name is Brittany Long. I'm an author, speaker, mom, creator of AI 200K and the U plus cloning method, and then agency membership cohort courses, white label. I've done it all, which is great because I'm able to help people see, the bigger picture on things. One of the things that we want to think about is this. There's a million ways to make $1 million. A few years back, I helped run a multi-million-dollar company, and it really opened my eyes to the idea that there's a million ways to make money. And that kind of goes back to being able to try all this agency membership cohort. It really depends on what we want in our life. A lot of times I'll see entrepreneurs trying to fit themselves into a certain box because that's what they've seen other people do, that's what they've done before, but there's really these limitless possibilities. And there are thousands of ways to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, people that want to hear from you, people that want to pay from you. But there's only one you, and you only get one life. And if I could summarize the importance of AI, it would be this, that tomorrow is not promised. And when I look back at my life, I've had a cancer scare in the past, and I always think back to that, and I think, okay, if tomorrow was my last day, am I satisfied with how I'm living my life? And most of the time now I say yes, but there have been times in the past where I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm just working all the time, and I don't, like, that's not the legacy I want to live or I want to leave behind. That's not what I want to look back at my life and say, man, I worked a lot. Great. I want to say, man, I worked on things that felt fulfilling and fun and exciting, that I felt like was making a difference. And I had all this other fulfilling pieces of my life too, not just work. Now, you've probably tried a few things because it sounds great. Okay, there's a million ways to make money. There's hundreds of thousands of ways to bring in subscribers. That's great, Brittany, but I've tried to hire a VA. I have used ChatGPT, but it's taking a while to get what I want. I've tried to create an AA team, but it got complicated. And so ultimately what it comes down to is so many people are still the bottleneck, and everything in your business is still on your shoulders. And I'm curious if anybody is experiencing that right now. Just let me know yes in the chat if that's you. But do you feel like you're the bottleneck in your business and everything hinges on you? Everything's on your shoulders. If so, just let me know yes in the chat. I'm just looking over. It's interesting because I've been there too, where you feel that and it just feels heavy. Like being an entrepreneur on your own, especially if you're a solopreneur, can be really challenging. And if you've ever thought, I wish there were 10 of me, your AI dream team ultimately is you. It's you in AI clone format. And so that is really where we get into this U plus cloning method idea. Now I'm going to go into, this is going to be practical. I'm going to go into different ways that you can have AI clones in your business. And we're going to be talking about these keywords. So we'll talk about AI clones, projects, GPTs, AI automations, and AI agents. So if we're talking about projects, this is when you look in ChatGPT on the left-hand side, there's a series of folders. It's about midway down. And so here you can see some of the clones that I have in my business and some of the resources I have in my business too. So these are all projects, but this one is my health and wellness, health and mindset coach. And every day I basically just check in and I'm like, here's how I'm feeling, here's what I'm doing. And it will notice patterns for me. It'll help me identify, oh, Brittany, you're at this point in your cycle, so you're probably starting to feel this way. And it helps me keep track of those sort of things so that I can better show up in my business and life without feeling as much anxiety or frustration or anything like that. So projects is one way you can clone yourself and add that additional team member without having to hire on human team members. And also some of these things like health and mindset, those are really vulnerable things, and sometimes I do not want to share that with other people. So to be able to share it with my Brittany clone who talks with me back and forth about my health and mindset has been really, really helpful. And then we have GPTs. So an example of the GPT is the GPT, the Moneymaker GPT I'll have for you at the end of this. And a GPT is something you can use yourself, but also share with team members, with clients, customers, members, whoever you want. And it's like you take the things that you know, like a micro problem that you can solve, and then you put it into the GPT. So instead of your students or customers or clients coming to you every day and saying the same questions that you've heard a million times and that you've answered a million times, you can support them by sending them this. So they get a piece of your brain on a particular topic. You save quite a bit of time, and they're able to get the support they need right away. So GPTs are a really great option when it comes to cloning yourself, and it really helps your clients, students, etc. Now, another thing is automations. Now, here's an automation that I have. Anytime I do a coaching call, it will automatically pull in the call and then create a blog post, and not putting the person's name or anything like that in it, but bring the topic that we did. So it does a blog post, it does YouTube script, it does a reel script, it does an evergreen email, a Facebook post, LinkedIn article, and a bunch of other stuff, blog posts, a bunch of other stuff as well. And so this is a way that I can clone myself on social. And so it's all still coming from my thoughts, my ideas, but instead of me having to manually write a blog post, manually write the YouTube script, manually write the reel script, it pulls from the content I already had from that coaching call and creates it for me. And so this is another one of the ways that I am able to clone myself with these automations. Next, we have agents, and we're going to see agents more and more in the next few months, in the next few years. An agent basically is AI, but then it can actually do more stuff for you. So instead of it just giving you ideas, it can take action on those ideas. The way I describe agents is like a regular like AI or AI automation would be if you're starting a lemonade stand, it'd give you ideas for the recipes. It would tell you the ingredients you need. But then an AI agent would be like, oh, look, we're out of this. Let me grab it for you. And it'll actually place the order for you when you're out of it. So it's a lot more proactive, I guess would be the best way to put it. So then here's the things we need. Remember, we talked about internal and external traffic. So that's traffic to your offers, and then traffic from your offer, or traffic to your email list, and then traffic from your emails to your offers. Sales page fulfillment, or sales fulfillment, and systems. So all of these clones that I'm going to talk about today help support those 4 things that you need in your business that usually rely heavily on you. Any questions before we get to this next part? Because we've covered a lot already. All right. You may need to watch this again. I know that you can watch the replays with the VIP. You may need to watch this again because we are going in depth on some of these, and I highly recommend getting the VIP so that you can do that. Now, the first clone we're going to talk about is a brain clone. This would be a dedicated chat and automations to get AI to think like you and make decisions like you. This gives your AI team context and strategy, but it also makes it easier if anybody else ever struggles with like executive function or making decisions that don't really matter a ton, but you just get stuck in the spiral. I need to make this decision. I don't know. I do this with flights a lot. I don't know why, but this is going to help you make those decisions a lot faster because you're training something to think like you so that you can go back and forth with another version of you basically when you're stuck. You can do this by creating a GPT or an automation. My brain clone personally keeps me motivated, kicks my butt into gear, and knows my personality, preferences, and strategy. So when I'm stuck or spiraling, it helps me get out of that. The next one is a written clone. So this you can use with GPTs, automations, or agents. My written clone writes my evergreen emails, launch emails, inbox emails, sales copy, and book. I have it collaborate with me on a book instead of just fully write it. But it does all these things so that I can focus on creating that one piece of content, that one coaching call, that one video, and then I let my AI clone, write the content for me from that one piece of content that I created. It can create all of these things, blog posts, LinkedIn articles, Facebook posts. I showed that to you a little bit earlier, but it can create all of this for you with your voice so that you are able to move forward faster. I don't know about you all, but during the summer especially, things are like wild for me. I have back-to-back meetings. I have maybe 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, that I can work, and that's pretty much it because my kid was home for school or for summer, and I want to spend a lot of time with her. And so to be able to do this and have my clone really be that team member for me has been incredibly helpful. So my written clone is a team member that can help me get more traffic, sell to that traffic, nurture the traffic, and then helps me deliver on what I promised I'd deliver on. And then we have image clones. So image clone, these are my Brittany AI clones. I always use my image clone right before I'm launching something. And the reason is that they get a lot more traction than pretty much anything else that I put out. And so I use that right before I launch to be top of mind for people. The AI image clone, especially the ones that are weird, like I have an AI image, AI Brittany that has like an army of hamsters. That's the one that people always comment on. And I know every time I put that out there, there will be plenty of comments, get plenty of traction, more people will see my offer. So image clone is a great one, especially right before you launch. For that, you can use GPT if you want to create a cartoon. I also use a tool called Artflow. Artflow is a really great one because you can use it for free and you can create like 100 generations a month for free. Flexlora, automations, all of these things work. My favorite, if you're just getting started, it would be using ChatGPT if you want to create a cartoon, or you can use Artflow. That's another really great one there. My image clone helps me launch graphics and does image for photo to video as well. All right, this is something else that's been really interesting. My image clone helped me have my first six-figure launch because I use it to get that momentum going into the launch. So again, highly recommend doing that right before your launch. Now, the next one I have is a voice clone. And just a side note, this is one of my Brittany AI images. It's a cartoon. I said that you can do cartoon images. You can do ones that look like real people. This is an example of the cartoon image. And that one was just made in ChatGPT. I just uploaded a picture and I create a cartoon graphic that looks like this picture. And it was pretty easy to get that. So this is our voice clone. I use this. I use 11 Labs for this. And my voice clone records some of my podcast episodes, reels, my Brittany AI video audio, onboarding audio, voice messages, coach concierge responses. It really helps me be able to get all my content out everywhere. And again, it's still my ideas. It comes from my original piece of content, but I'm not having to sit there and re-record a podcast episode. The way that I do this usually is I'll send a voice note or usually a voice note to myself after I drop my kiddo off at school. On the way home, I set up the voice memo before I start driving, and then I'd share my thoughts on a particular topic, questions that people have been asking me, things that I'm seeing happening in the AI world, that kind of stuff. And then on my drive from her school to my home or school to office, I have that recording that I do. And then I use that recording to create all the other content. The problem with that though, if I wanted to use that as a podcast episode, is that it would have been choppy. The sound isn't great. Like it's in the car, I'm hands-free with it. So it's just not great. But if I use this, if I use my AI voice, I can turn it into a podcast that actually sounds really good and clear and crisp and all that. So it still sounds like me. It's still my ideas. It just is way better. And we don't have to spend all that time editing. It also takes out a lot of the like uhs and ums and all the random, what's the word I'm looking for? Like where I'm getting lost in what I'm saying, that kind of stuff. It can also check in with my coaching clients, sends voice notes to interested customers, and send myself voice notes to keep me on track. So I have one that it'll actually, like I message myself and I say, hey, here are my goals for the day. And then at the end of the day, I follow up and I'm like, okay, here's what I did. And then Brittany AI voice, will send me a message and be like, amazing job. Or if I did not follow through on what I said I was going to, it'll be like, Brittany, you need to get yourself in gear. And so it's interesting hearing like future Brittany or myself, but my AI version, kind of give me that feedback and give me that encouragement or kick me in the butt. All right, next we have Video Clone. And if you're on my Instagram or you're on the last platform I was talking about was 11 Labs, Laura. If you're on my Instagram or on my YouTube, and I'll put my Instagram here, you'll see my video clone on some of these. And it'll be fun to go through and decide which one's Brittany AI and which one's Brittany. But my video clone helps me get content out even when I don't feel like putting makeup on, even when I'm like, oh, my face is puffy today or whatever it is, whatever reason or excuse I'm giving myself for not like putting the content out. This kind of helps bust that. Your AI clone, video clone that looks like you and talks like you can record your YouTube videos, onboard videos, trainings, summit interviews, presentations, all of that, and do it in your voice and your video without you needing to show up. And again, if you have like kids at home, for example, this is really, really helpful. I can't tell you how many times this summer I've used this because I was like, I just can't I can't right now because my kid is downstairs and she's singing and I love that. And I still need to get work done. So that's my thoughts there on that. It also helps with traffic, sales, and fulfillment. And again, no makeup required. There's not that feeling of, oh, I need to look camera ready and stuff like that because it's already there. The other thing I love about my AI video clone is that she can do it more succinctly than I can because I'm putting in the script instead of saying it out loud as I'm going. Okay, The last one that we have is Coach Clone. And the Coach Clone is one of my favorite things that I'm doing right now. All my one-on-one clients get this. Soon my course clients will get this too for AI 200K. But my Coach Clone basically checks in with them every day and they can talk with my Coach Clone. The really interesting thing with this is that I'm finding people using my Coach Clone even more than they're utilizing me because they get an answer immediately. It's trained on literally all my content, all my Zoom calls, all my trainings, all my videos, all my everything, coursework, like all the content I've created. It's trained on that. So they can ask me a question and it responds like I would actually respond. I can also see their messages, so I like this better than a GPT, and they know I can see their messages too, but it's really helpful for them to be able to get what they need so much faster. For this, I use tools like Delphi. You can use GPTs. Delphi's better because you can see those messages. My work clone, and I need to update this, but I said sent 600 follow-up messages to my coaching clients since the time I made this presentation, like a month and a week, I think. So 5 weeks, it has responded to, I think it's like 2,000 messages from clients. And 2,000 messages is a lot. That's a lot in 5 weeks for me to be able to cover, but it helps me out with that, which is great. So you can see now why I can now go from 120 hours used to get me this to I can do all of this in a day because we have all these resources helping us. It has helped me, just to give you some numbers here. We're on track to double our revenue from last year, and a big piece of this is our AI clones. I go to the Springs movies 2 times a week. I'm off Friday through Sunday. I travel with my family. And through all of this, my customers, students, clients, members all still get a lot of support and even more support than I was able to provide before AI because it's not on a time limit like I am. Now, your clones, when you get started, might begin in projects and GPTs and then eventually move on to AI automations, agents, and specialized tools like Delphi, like I mentioned earlier. Your 6 team members are your best team members because they're you. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip to the GPT. I want to make sure you all get access to that. So you can head here. And I think the link is also in the chat there for you. But you can go ahead and get that now. And that GPT is going to help you see ways that you can earn more using AI. And so it'll ask you a few questions and you'll also be able to see how that GPT works too. Now, something like this would be my clone. Like instead of getting on a call with somebody and doing like a strategy call or like a discovery call, we're able to use the GPT to help them get that support they need again right away. So highly recommend taking a look at that, even if it's just to see how that can maybe replace some of the things that you're doing currently in your business. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, all I want to know is you open up my eyes, but I want more. So
Yeah.
yes, I want that. And you really blew my mind with a few things I did not know about. So what is the best way to learn from? I love your free on ChatGPT, but I want you. Like I want you to teach me. Or your clone, I guess, as long as you teach me. What is the best way to be in your world and work with you or learn from you?
Yeah, AI to 100K is the best way. We're actually adding in there how to create your own clones. So not only are we showing you how to earn more with AI consistently and systematically, but we're also showing you, and we're adding that in this week and next week, we're also showing you how to create your own clones, your own clone team, so that not only are you earning more, but you're also not the bottleneck and everything's not on your shoulders. And the link is in the chat for anybody that's interested in that. I also put my Instagram. I'm always to get to know everybody.
Okay, I'll be in touch. I can't wait to be in your world. Thank you so much. I know you got to run. I wish we had more time for questions, but everyone, thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Whitney, the AI magician. That's how I say it. All right. So just joining, we are here at the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Justyna Nielsen, your host, and we have amazing guests today on day 3 of the summit. I want to welcome our next guest, Julie Miller Davis. Hi, Julie. Let me bring you up to the stage. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Justyna. I'm very well. Thank you.
Awesome. I feel like you're another person that CEO, I wouldn't say me, but it's CEOs needing you in our life. So we're talking about productivity tips, and I know you have a lot of great events. I've been to, you teach a lot, but today specifically, we want to talk about prioritizing with power and saying yes to the right things. So please tell us a little bit more about like why you're passionate about this, like helping entrepreneurs, prioritizing and productivity tips and all that. What is your passion about this topic?
Yeah, it's I'll say a little bit in my talk as well, but when I started this business, it came out of a space of I was working in another business and had so many women, especially, asking me how I was doing what I was doing, working the slim hours I was working. And it started to get me thinking about how I operate and think differently than a lot of women business owners. And so I started creating these courses and programs around how do I help women really prioritize what's going to move them forward, because they're spinning, they're juggling all the balls or spinning all the plates or whatever it is, right? They're not moving forward because there's no intentionality behind how they're going about their day. And so that's where it's born from. And it's what I do has made such a difference in so many people's businesses and lives that I'm just pretty passionate about it.
Yes, I know. I'll let you take it away because I know you're here to teach us today, but either now or weave it into your talk, what kind of difference do you really make? I'd love to know because I know you do, but I think people really need to realize that sometimes we're doing like patching holes in our business. Do you know what I mean? But we don't have a
Yep.
strategic plan that I think you're here to teach us. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
and take it away and teach us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just curious if you've ever woken up and feeling like you have it all under control and you're ready to go. You have a plan. You look at the calendar. You have an idea of what your day is going to look like. And then you open up your email and everything goes out the window. And you have an emergency from your team, you have something from a client, somebody else needs something from you. And so you're like, all right, I can move all this stuff I was going to do. I can push it back and I can still get everything done. I can squeeze it in later. And what happens as you start getting into your day with text messages, emails, and what Justyna just said, I call it putting out fires all day, putting out all the little fires all day long, is that your day starts getting eaten up by other people's agendas. If that's you or you've experienced that or you experience it on a regular basis, would you just write yes in the chat or me or something and let me know that you're with me, that this is speaking to you? I'd really love to know if this is something that happens to you. Because if your day is getting eaten up like this and you're putting out little fire after fire and not getting to the things that you really know are the important needle movers, at the end of the day, you look up and you're like, where did my day go? What happened? And you know that your day got interrupted, but you're like, really? What you might not know is that on average, 30%, at least 30% of your day gets lost in being distracted from the main thing. 30%. That's 20 minutes an hour getting eaten up by distraction. 20 minutes an hour. So when I say things like you're going to get 10 hours back in your week, that it's possible to get 10 hours back in your week, if you think about 20 minutes an hour getting lost to distraction, it's 2 hours a day at least and 10 hours a week, right? So we have more time than we realize. But you might be getting to that point. It's like all the stuff that you have to do, that you are doing, it's all this big tangled ball of yarn, and you don't know where to start untangling it and what are the most important things, and I got to get all this stuff done, and I have this giant list of things. I've also got a full calendar. Where's it going to go? And some of you might be like, I'm throwing up my hands. I just surrender. Some of you might be like, I'm shutting her down. I'm going to just sit on the couch and stare into space. Like, we don't even know what to do. And so today, what I want to do is really help you hone in some things. We're going to start with a really simple piece around how to get through this to-do list and interface it with your calendar a little bit. But what I really would like to know is, when is the last time you actually got your list done and everything on your calendar? Like, when's the last time? When's the last time that you were actually able to make time for projects or ideas that you have that you know would move the needle forward? And when was the last time you not only met, but vastly exceeded a goal and got it done early? Like, when's the last time? Because these are the things that happen for my clients. These are the successes. I had a client a few years back. She actually runs a dental assisting school. And for years, she'd had an idea about having a level 2 certification in her school, which is not something that any other school here in Colorado, or at least in Southern Colorado, had. And so we started working together, and she's like, what if I can't get this thing done? And how long is it going to take? So we started working together in November. And I was like, look, we're going to get this course launched. She has to get it approved by the state. She has to get all the content written. She has to do all the things. So I was like, you know what? If we don't have it done by June, we'll keep going. We'll just keep working. I'll keep working for you for free because I'm promising you that it'll be done. Once she started making this idea the main thing, because we prioritized it, we figured out her calendar, we made that idea the main thing. Guess what? She had approval from the state by February. She was thinking it wouldn't even happen till June. She launched her first course in March, her level 2 course in March. It took basically 3 months to get it all done and built because she was focusing on the main thing. It doubled her school's revenue. You guys, there is enough time. There's so much time that we are wasting. And so I just gave you this example of this woman who had an idea and didn't know when she was going to have the time to do it. So I would like you to think about one thing, not a task, right, but like a project or an idea you know would make a big difference in your business if you got it done, if you got it launched, if you got it started. One project or idea. It could be a course that you want to launch. It could be getting speaking gigs. It could be actually hiring that assistant. Like, what are the things that you could make a really big difference if you got it done? Or something else that you've been really thinking about. Like, how much would your business grow? How much would it grow if you were actually able to do that thing? I run a live in-person event in Colorado Springs in early October. And I asked this question to my participants last year. And there were 50 in the room, about 25 actually gave me their number. So 25 entrepreneurs gave me their number if they were able to get the thing done, how much money they would make in a year. And 25 people would have generated, are you ready? 6.2 million when they did it. See right there, Justyna, 120K. You guys, craziness, craziness. So why are we putting the thing off that will make the biggest difference? Why are we putting it off? Because if we can focus on the things that will create results, you will massively grow your business. That's why I call myself a productivity and results expert. Because this is productivity leads to results. We have to start focusing on the main thing. And here's the mistake that I think that people make is that they really believe that if they're going to grow, scale, and expand their business, that they're going to have to sacrifice their time, sacrifice their family, sacrifice time for themselves, sacrifice their weekends. And what I have found is that through growing my own business and through the work I've done with my clients, that is not true. If 20 minutes of every hour is being taken up by distraction and I can mitigate that, then there is enough time for all of it, for you to have a life, for you to grow and scale your business, for you to have relationships, for you to have good health. There's time for all of it. So what we need to do is get to how you can really stop being stuck in a cycle of procrastination, a cycle of non-productivity, a cycle of habitual things that we engage in every day. So I'm going to share my tool, my number one tool with you, and I'm going to give you a free gift around that tool, and you'll get opportunities to grab some things from me. I just want to share with you so that has turned me into a productivity and growth expert, right? For 17 years, I taught high school English and theater. But 17 years in English, how many kids English teachers have, all teachers have in their classes? I just want you to think about this. That meant every time a paper was turned in, I got 120 of them. Every time a test was taken, I got 120 of them. Every time they turn in a journal entry, a grammar assignment, anything, there were 120 of them. Plus I had to plan, plus I had to teach, right? I'm not doing that during classroom time. And I was noticing that most of my colleagues were spending 15 to 20 hours outside of school time grading and planning. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't willing to do that. I had a life. When I started teaching, I was 22. So life is important at 22. Life is important always, but at 22, you're a little more selfish, right? So what happened was I started putting together systems, processes, a way of conducting my classroom without sacrificing my students' education, without sacrificing my desire for excellence, that allowed me to work about a third of the time that they were working. And I discerned a way of, or I discovered a way of working that is become crucial to what I teach entrepreneurs, what I owners, and how I run my own business. After 10 years in business, and I think starting at about a year in the business, I work right now, summertime, I work about 2.5 days a week in summertime. 2.5 days a week because I love to hike, I love to golf, I love to play tennis, there's a lot of things I love to do. And so I've arranged my schedule in that way. And my business is a multi-six-figure business. I just control my time. And I control what's important. And I have an amazing team. And I'm really glad that you spoke before me because she's telling you some ways that can help you get that business. And I don't work 2.5 days where I'm not working at all. There's one day a week where I don't work at all. But most days I work a partial day and one work a full day. So just think about, there's different ways of looking at how to arrange your time. But what I want to do is that I want you to know that this is possible for you. If you engage with me at all on social, you'll see how I live my life and how I work my business. And I want you to know you don't have to sacrifice anything. So what I'm going to give you is this like very foundational key to, I call it the JMD productivity system, Julie Miller Davis, JMD productivity system. And so I want you to know that you're going to get to those biggest, most important projects that are going to grow your business, and you're not going to have to sacrifice more time. And I'm going to also show you how we can connect further, or you can have some tools to help you get even more. So here we go. We're going to break out of this busyness cycle that many of you have. I'd love you to think about how many of you have a to-do list? And you can just say me. Do any of you have multiple to-do lists? That's actually what I'd like you to tell me. Do you have multiple to-do lists? Is there one in your phone and one on the kitchen counter and one on your desk and one in the car? And like, are they everywhere? And do you have like sticky notes that are addendums to that list? And have any of you ever written something on the list that wasn't on there, but you did it, so you wanted to feel like you accomplished something and you wanted to be able to check it off so it wasn't there? Oh, I know how we run a list. But I want to give you this 3Ds formula. And some of you may have heard something like this before, but I want to give you a different take on it. So my 3Ds system is this, 3Ds. This is all it comes down to at its very foundational level. Do it, delegate it, dump it. When we talk about our lists, you have to do it, you have to delegate stuff, or you have to dump stuff. And I'm going to talk about each of these. So a do it. The thing is, on your list are all things that you can do. But the question comes to some of what even should you be the one doing them? Are you the only one that can do them? So when you're determining whether something is a do it, when you're looking at your list for the day, when you're looking at your list for the week, what are the things that only you are the only one that can do it? That's a really important question. You have to get really honest with yourself. Is this something that is going to move me intentionally or significantly toward my goal? That's the second question. Is this something that's going to move me toward my goal? And it might be your goal for the day, it might be your goal for the week, it might be your goal for the quarter, which a whole other conversation is all those should be related. Okay. And the third thing, is this something that's going to make me know I accomplished something at the end of the day? Because we get to the end of too many days or weeks where we're like, God, I was so busy and I don't know what I did all day. Why in the world was I so busy? Like, what did I do? So we want to know this accomplished piece. Accomplished. And here's the kicker. Any given day, there should be no more than 3 do-its. No more I call them the big 3. No more than 3 do-its. No more than 3. I'm looking for something on my desk. And those do-its should be all of these things. Like, you're the only one that can do it. Is this something that's going to move me forward? You could also ask, is this something that's going to make my cash register ring? Like, how are we doing that? Thank you, Chelsea. Yeah, it's a struggle sometimes to keep it to 3, but it's a game changer when you stick to them, because otherwise we're starting and and we're distracted, right? We're starting and not finishing a whole lot of things. But if you can get to the 3, and if it's a really busy day, I just want to tell you, you can have a big 1 and not a big 3. I have a couple days a month where I'm networking and I have coaching and other stuff. Like, I'm not going to have 3 things, because these big 3 are not things that are already on your calendar. Because the next step is to integrate it with your calendar. So I have these big 3. What time am I going to do them? When am I going to do them? And you don't have to do them all together. Like, when are you going to do the first one? When are you going to do the second one? When are you going to do the third one? So you've got to interface it with the calendar. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. That's where a to-do list becomes an intention and not it being intentional. Or we let all the to-dos just hijack your entire calendar. And so now you didn't do anything on your calendar. So we've got to get those talking to each other, and you've got to honor it. Got to honor it. So the second D is delegation. So how do we get down to 3 on any given day? We ask those questions and we start to delegate. Brittany just gave you some awesome things on how you can delegate to AI. I'm so glad I came on for that, because that rocked my world. Because I use AI for some things, but I'm like, no, I'm looking at my notes over here going, what else can it do for me that my assistant isn't doing for me, my team? And so here's why we don't delegate. Let me know if you've ever said these things. This will only take a sec, so I'm just going to do it. Yep, I see Justyna's hand. No one's going to do this as well as I can, so I'm just going to do it. Justyna, thank you. How about, it's going to take me so long to train someone to do this, so I don't have time for that. I'm just going to keep doing it. And the truth is, if you train someone, they could do it over and over and over and over again, and you only have to train them once. instead of you having to repeat this task every time that it comes up. So these are all the reasons we don't delegate and more. And so here's what I want to tell you is it can save you so much time, and it is stopping you. By not delegating, you are stopping growth in your business. Just like what Brittany said. Like if you're not farming things out in some fashion, you are the bottleneck of your business. You are stopping growth. When I launched this business, I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Denver's about 70 miles away. And I was burning up the highway. I was networking everywhere, getting known, getting out of my old business, getting known as this business. And I had a mountain of business cards on my desk, a mountain of business cards that I, quote unquote, didn't have time to put into my CRM so that I could send out a newsletter and invite them to stuff and give them stuff and whatever. These people wanted to connect with me, and I didn't have time to get them in my CRM. Guess what? This is 10 years ago. I hired my best friend's daughter, who was 15 at the time, paid her babysitting money, basically $10 an hour, to input those cards. It took me, half hour to teach her how to open up CRM, log in, get things. This is how many business cards I had. It took 6 hours to put them in. I paid her $60. Never thought about the $60 again, and now I have a list to mail stuff to. And she did that job for me monthly, and it took her an hour a month after that to get those in. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money, but it sure can save you a lot. Did I have 6 hours to put information in? No. I mean, I did, but it would have wasted my time. I was out networking. So just think, I know that's really, really straightforward example, and a lot of you might already be delegating some of those little things. And the hard part of delegating is when there's something that you're convinced that you have to do yourself, but truly you could probably give part of it away or all of it away. So we've got to figure out how to train someone else to do it. Sometimes we don't know how to we've had a bad experience delegating, or we don't know how to delegate. And so that's another conversation, but that's where the biggest time savers are. Because if you can delegate all or part of a task, it's going to free up hours upon hours of your time. Because there's so much power in getting something in your head into someone else's hands. So much power. And with delegation, I'm going to leave you with a couple of stats here. Not stats, but an 80% rules. If someone could do 80% of the task, and you could just do the last 20, first 20. If someone could do 80% of a task, it's delegable. And if someone can do it 80% as well as you, which is most of the time good enough, if they can do it 80% as well as you, it's delegable. And guess what? Most of the things that I delegate, the people who are doing them do it better than I do, because they've got the time. That's their job. It's not my job to do my social media. It's not my job to run my website. That's not why I got in this business. Is that why you got in your business? To do administrative minutia tasks that are minutia to you, but somebody else's livelihood and someone else's gift. Let them do that. So when people work more closely with me, I really help you dig into those multi-step big projects, break them down, figure out the 80% that you can delegate, get things off your plate permanently so that you can grow. Even during the pandemic, I had people who were in person. I had a photographer, I had a massage therapist, I had a salon owner. I have these hands-on businesses working with me when the pandemic hit. All of those women broke 100K for the first time during the pandemic, because we started really focusing on the things that can make them and it made us think so far outside the box. And they were things that once they were able to run their business regularly again, just explosion, right? Because delegation and how are we engaging in the right things and all of that. So dump it. If you were sweating a little during delegation, my guess is that you're really sweating when I tell you to dump it. Ooh, what? Dump does not necessarily mean delete, which could be a fourth D. But dump, here's how I look at dump it. It could be that it needs to be deleted, but you have to ask yourself like, how long has something been living on your to-do list? Like, how many of you have things that have been living on your to-do list? You just keep moving them day to day, week to week, month to month. Like, they just keep moving. Thanks, Chelsea's. Yeah. So we have to ask ourselves, why is it living on the list? Does it need to become a do it, like a big 3? Could it be delegated? Am I just keeping it on there because it's a kind of a cool thing, but I just don't have time right now, but I don't want to forget about it? Like, why is it living there? If it's a cool thing or it's something I really want to do, but it's not urgent, but I don't want to forget about it, you guys, let's dump it. Dump it to, are you ready? This could be a game changer. I think it has been for quite a lot of people. You can dump it to a date on the calendar. I don't care if it's 90 days from now, a year from now, 6 months from now, 30 days from now. So we're going to get it off the list and on the calendar. So I really want to do this thing. And so what's today? I'm the 24th of July, August, September, October. October 24th at 10:30 in the morning, I'm putting this thing as an event on my calendar to get started on it or to do it. That is dumping it. So I'm dumping it off the list. If the answer to why is this continually on my list is I don't know, maybe delete it. See if it keeps niggling at the back of your brain and then put it on the calendar if it does. If you dump it, if you delete it and you never think about it again, it wasn't that important, right? Just think about that as far as dumping it. So to really have success with the 3Ds system, with do it, delegate it, dump, this is where it starts. Definitely not the end, because then there's a whole thing around all the things that you have to do. There's a whole thing interfacing all of it with your calendar. There's a whole thing around how do we come up with our priorities, even further than I talked to you about it today. But to really have success with it, we have to really understand how to truly prioritize the things that matter, how to manage multi-projects, and things that seem so big in the we're just not getting started. We have to figure out how to delegate effectively, and the whole idea of calendar, how does it all interface with your calendar? Because when you really understand how to focus on what matters most and how to manage those urgent things, no matter how good of a plan we have, life happens. The dog throws up, or the kid gets sick, or something happens, and everything gets all mixed up. So we have to manage those urgent things that do come up. But when we how to manage those and they're not taking over our day and making our list totally get.
Oops, did we lose? Her internet was going out a little bit. I think we might have lost Julie Davis. Oh, here you are. Did something
I'm
happen?
back. I don't know
Okay.
what happened. That was weird.
Okay. That's okay. I'll spotlight you again.
Okay.
Next speaker. We need to wrap this
Okay.
up. Thank you.
Okay, I thought I had 30 minutes and I didn't start till 20 till.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. We have 2 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. But that's when the most massive growth happens. And so I just really would like you to all start here. And I challenge you to take the next week and figure out those big 3 and to know that you have enough time. And that if you can manage that distraction and look at things in a very intentional manner and then interface it with get it on your calendar, you're going to make a big difference. That concludes Justyna, and then we do the free gifts that I have for everyone.
Yes. So, Julie, honestly, when you
Yeah.
speak about to-do lists, I think everyone here can relate, right? I love your efficiency, and I love what really resonated with me is your idea of 3 things. It is hard for me to narrow down to 3, but I could do a version of that where I just do top 3 and then everything else is in a parking lot. But I love your free gift. Tell us what the number one, because I know you have two free gifts. I had dropped the links in the chat.
Yeah. I have two free gifts for you. One is you're going to have a downloadable version of my daily productivity planner. And so what this does is help you do a brain dump of what you've got to go in the day, and then it puts your big three at the top. So it's a supplement to your calendar, and you can tear off a sheet and toss it when you're done. And this is my pad, but you guys have a downloadable version. You can download it as many times as you want. So we have that to go into the chat. It's the daily productivity planner. And I think Justyna has that link.
Yes.
And the other thing that I have for you, and this is for you if you are ready to really dig into what are your productivity blocks. I call it a productivity breakthrough session. And those productivity blocks are the things that are holding you back. And so I have set aside several 30-minute sessions. If you want to dig in, and this is something that is really important to you, I'm giving you a free 30-minute call so we can uncover those productivity blocks and see if and how I can help you get where you want to go.
I love that. Thank you so much. That chat, for anyone watching live, the chat has the free gifts and a free page with Julie. You can connect with her on LinkedIn, as well as schedule a free discovery call and a free gift for anyone watching replay, which we'll have this next 3 days. We'll make sure that it's next to your video, because productivity, think about the gifts that Julie's given you. It's freeing up your time to reclaiming your time and allowing you to be in your zone of genius and actually getting things done, right? And if I can say getting shit done, this is really what it's about. I loved when you said, what is the one thing that you really want to get done? And that's what you help people do, because some of us start and don't finish. And so thank you for offering your assistance to get us to our next level
Thank you.
of entrepreneurship. Thanks, Julie.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, thank you for those just tuning in and watching us live when we're streaming. I'm Justyna Nielsen, your host today. We are watching the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. Today is day 3, and we have amazing gifts today, so stick around. If you can't stick around, consider upgrading to the VIP, where we're offering both video and audio replays, plus including all free gifts from all speakers. Our next guest is here in the audience. Let me bring her up on the screen.
Hello.
Hello, Chelsea. Is it Quint?
Quint, yes.
Did I get it right? Okay.
Chelsea Quint. Yep.
And I love who she is. She's the business whisperer. So please tell us, what do you do and who do you help and how?
Yes. So I am a sales and messaging expert for genius coaches, creators, and consultants. And mostly what I do is help those folks get their work seen and sold, because typically the most skilled creators, the most skilled entrepreneurs are the ones that I see most struggle to sell out their offers, not because they're not talented, but actually because they're so talented, it is harder for them to market and sell their work in a way that their ideal customers, their best fit buyers, can understand, resonate with. And so they struggle, they don't get the scale that they want, they don't get the visibility they want. And so that is where I come in and fill the gap and help them build out sales and marketing systems that work with their goals, their life, and their nervous systems, because none of us started this to feel just as crappy and burned out as we did in other jobs. So that's what I do.
That's a good point. I know I was in corporate for about 10 years.
Mhm.
To escape the 9 to 5, the grind and all that. And sometimes entrepreneurs, and this is why we're having the summit, and we get stuck. Wait, there's no paid time off. It's a weekend and I still get to work. And we definitely get into the roller coaster or the chasing of clients, right?
Yep.
And don't have the steady. So I love that. And you're here to tell us about the empathy edge. Tell us what you're teaching us today.
Yes. Okay. I don't have to use my slides, but I have slides. Can I
Yes,
share?
please go take
Okay.
it away. And we'd love to learn
I'm
from you. I know we're
I'm
running
such a
on time.
visual learner. Yeah, I'm going to be quick. I'm going to be as quick as I can. I
Appreciate
am
you. Thank you,
a
everyone.
long-winded person, but I am going to do my very best, y'all. Okay. So, I'm such a visual person, so I have slides. Happy to also share these, Justina, with you if you want to have the PDF to share with folks.
That would be
So ultimately, will do. Ultimately, the empathy edge is how do we know our best fit customers well enough to say exactly what you need to feel seen, safe, and ready to buy? Seen, safe, and ready to buy, I argue, right? Most of us have heard of know, like, trust before, right? That you need the know, like, trust factor before people are ready to buy from you. I do argue on a regular basis in my content and my emails that know, like, trust isn't enough in 2025. When there is more skepticism in the world, which there is in the online business industry, there's more skepticism. When there is less certainty, what that does is creates lower psychological safety, more skepticism, and that makes people less ready to buy. Know, like, trust isn't really enough anymore. You've got to actually be able to create sales content and have sales systems that gets a deeper degree of connection. And really, the way that you do that is empathy. That's why empathy, you're going to be so sick of the word empathy. I apologize in advance, but it really is a game changer. Before we dive deep into this, though, I did want to note the whole purpose of the summit, or the sort of overarching journey, right? We're talking about going from solopreneur to CEO. And especially in spaces like these and rooms like these, the word CEO gets thrown around a lot without always slowing down to think about, wait, what actually is the CEO? What is it? And I have worked with countless founders who I had to sit down and have the conversation around, do you actually want to be the CEO of your business? Because a lot of founders start to deliver the work, they want to deliver the work, but don't necessarily want to do the sales as much, want to do the growth, right? And so it's an important thing to recognize that when it comes to being a CEO of a company, the two core jobs are for you to deliver results to your clients or customers and to make sales, because that's what grows the company. That's what I think a lot. I talk a lot about how, like, money is for your business as blood is for your body. We need there to be a consistent flow. Otherwise, something's not going to work, right? Something's going to go sideways. In order for you to do these two things effectively, you need to understand your audience, your customers. You need to know your people. That's what empathy gets you, right? The number one thing that determines how effectively you can do any of these things, how effectively you can do your job as a CEO, how effectively you can run your company, and also how effectively you can, like, be in relationships with people inside and outside of your business. But the number one thing is how you can communicate outside of great product and service, right? Ultimately, the empathy edge is about giving you tools to communicate more effectively in a way that is empathy driven and going to be really good for your bank account. It's going to be really good for your brand, because suddenly you're going to start speaking and sharing content and writing in a way that has people feeling seen by you, feeling safe with you, with your brand, with your offers, feeling great. Oh my God, thank God you reminded me about this offer you have, because I needed that. This is what empathy gets you. Okay, so where I'm going to go as quickly and concisely as I possibly can, why empathy is marketing magic. I'm going to give you 3 tools for better sales and marketing content, and then a simple process, because information without implementation is not going to do you anything. I also have an incentive. I have a gift for you. I have several gifts for you, but I really want you to actually take action. So I have a very generous gift for you that hopefully you will take me up on. Then questions. If you have questions throughout, also just drop them in the chat. I have the chat pulled up. Okay, if you're not seeing sales, or if you are, say, like, speaking in a summit and you're not getting the traction you'd expect, or you're sending emails and no, people are opening it, but they're not buying, or they're clicking on your link in bio and you can see the stats, but they're not booking a call with you. When that is not happening, it is because there is a disconnect between what information you are putting out and what your people need to feel seen, safe, and ready to buy. That is the simplest thing. And our gorgeous silly brains love to overcomplicate this, but this is the only thing that's missing. If you have a sales problem, it's because one of these things is happening. Empathy will help you solve all of them. There are different elements here, right? And ultimately they're all messaging problems, but this is why empathy helps, because when you are not speaking from a point of clarity around what they need to hear, around empathetically understanding their language, when you're not speaking in a way that will emotionally resonate with them, that's where you're either going to see no or low conversions. So if you have a sales problem and you feel like you're not getting the results that you want, like this is the problem. Please, for the love of, please apply the tools that I'm going to teach you and report back in 30 to 60 days. The other reason that empathy is so powerful is that people, even the most analytical buyers among us, I get into this with people on threads all the time, because analytical buyers want to tell me, Chelsea, nah, I buy because of logic. I buy because of features, and I actually read the details. But then when they give me examples of what they've bought, you justified your purchase. You were interested in certain elements of the purchase that were more analytical, but we don't buy because of logic. We buy because of emotion. We buy because of possibility. We buy to get toward desire, to get toward an identity shift, or to get away from pain. Objectively, it's like sales psych 101. We are so much more simple and easy to predict than we think we are. And as business owners, we often overcomplicate the pants off of that, when really it is just connect to the emotion. How do we do that? Empathetic understanding of your people. Note, because all the people I work with have a little bit of cringe, varying degrees, varying textures, but cringe around being salesy. They don't want to be salesy. They don't want to be gross. They don't want to manipulate people. I never in a million years would have thought that I love teaching on sales. Blows my mind, but I do. I really do, because sales is actually just about helping people. Unless you don't actually believe in your offer. If you are not in love with your offer and in love with the possibility or the potential or the result you want for people, cool. You're not like, don't use these tools. Go get in love with people and an offer, and then use these tools, because then sales is not even a thing then. Manipulate that, like this work could be used to be manipulative and gross. It could be. But when you are rooted in a place of, I love this offer, I love the work I do, I love the possibility and what's available to people that I work with, then this is why I love sales. This is why I fell in love with it, is because I know the possibility available once people get this. I know how much it changes. Yes, their bank account, money is lovely, it's a gorgeous resource, but like their quality of life, their families, their legacy, their community, their activism, everything. So the tools, 3 different tools that I want you to experiment with. Note, you don't have to use all of these. Also note, these tools are very, very good at becoming what I like to call productive procrastination. So sneaky things that look productive, but eventually become procrastination. So before I give you the tools, I do want to note, this is the sort of thing that you do open a document, do some journaling on it, run through it, give yourself an hour, give yourself 90 minutes, then take action, then put it out into your content. Because this is the sort of thing that if anyone has any recovering perfectionist tendencies, you can get stuck here. I want to counsel you not to. Okay, empathy mapping. First thing, an empathy map is a business artifact that allows you to step into your audience's world and feel things from their perspective. Oh, I could show you guys. I might show you guys, if we have time, I will show you guys an example of an empathy map that I have several that I've built for clients. This is a database that allows you to understand what your people are thinking, feeling, Googling, doing, or not doing. I always do it in each phase of the buyer's journey, in each stage of awareness. So this is what then allows you to, when you know this, it allows you to say the thing that they need to hear to provide the experience they need in order to feel seen, safe, ready to buy. Some explorations for you to consider. What are the most common thoughts and feelings they have, especially related to the work you do, but also in general? It's good to get a whole life picture. And what triggers those thoughts or feelings in their daily life? What sparks that for them, right? This next one, walking in their shoes, this one's like a little extra. It is a little extra, it just is. But actually imagine, I have an acting background. Imagine though that you are playing the character of your ideal customer, and maybe you actually have been them. In many ways, I have been my ideal customer back when I didn't know how the heck to get sales, right? So walk in their shoes and think, okay, what would I be thinking as them on this summit? What would that feel like? This is how you understand them and get like a PhD in your ideal customer, which is what is going to allow you to stand out. I don't care how crowded your niche is. I don't care if your price point. This empathetic understanding and ability to speak and connect is what is going to allow you to stand out no matter what other asterisks come up, no matter what the marketplace is doing, no matter what becomes trendy or not. Like, this will change the game for you because it's really about being human. It's about how to human. This is how to human in a sales way. I have an ideal customer journey template linked here. And then imagine you're acting as them. What are their motivations? What are their desires? How do they speak? How do they think? How do they carry themselves? Yeah. How do they dress? All of those pieces, because those, and the more detailed you can get here, I ask a lot of questions because the more detailed you can get, the more likely you are to connect. And this is one thing that so many of us get wrong. Oh gosh, I caught myself doing this earlier. I was doing this earlier when I was thinking about how to talk about how to introduce myself for this summit. I was running back over my notes and everything. And I wanted to include in the intro, I'm also a business strategist. I also do this. So I freaking teach this, y'all. And still the desire to say all the things and be more general. It's just there. It's just human. I swear, the more specific you are, the more effectively things will convert, the better your content will convert. Okay. If you feel inclined, drop a sentence in the chat. Do you, from hearing this, is there any feeling your ideal customer has that you haven't spoken to in your marketing before? Is there a feeling or a thought that they have that you haven't spoken to? Frustration. Okay. Discouraged. And so we're going to build on this in just a moment, right? We're actually, the next two tools, we're going to build on that. Okay. So thinking about that emotion, frustration, discouraged, that you haven't spoken to yet. This is tool number 2, spinning on problem. This is completely, I took this from my acting classes, y'all. Spinning on problem is a tool that actors use that we use to get into character, to imagine what it is like to be in the head of our character. I have adapted it so that we can use it to create an empathetic connection to our ideal customer. One note here, I believe very deeply that you have slightly different ideal customers per offer. So you should have a messaging dashboard and an ideal customer. There's going to be overlap across all of your offers, but you should have a unique understanding of the lived experience, the frustration, the discouragement, whatever it is, for your ideal customer relevant to each individual offer. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So, spinning on problem. This is where I want you to say, okay, my people are frustrated. The core emotional tension they're feeling is frustration related to this thing in their business, this thing in their life, this health issue, this relationship issue, whatever it is, whatever your service is. They feel frustration. Okay. What is that internal conflict like for them? What do they think about because of it? And the way that as actors we do this, like, is pen and paper, journaling, or I'll either do this when I'm journaling or when I'm walking my dog. So something that is, because we want to imitate the experience of, this is the tension that is running in the background of their life. So that then again, this helps you connect to them and resonate, and it helps you a little bit like fall in love with them and feel more lit up about, God, I want to help you solve this pain. I am so excited about it. And then it becomes easier to just talk about it nonstop, to sell without feeling gross, because you're like, oh, God, if I could just get you to delegate dump it, then your life would be so much better, right? Or whatever it is. If I could just show you how to fix your sales problem, oh God, your life would be, whew, the peace you would feel, right? This allows you to get excited. So, answering how do they spin on their problem? What are the things that they're scrolling on social media? That's a good place where people spin on problem. How are they spinning on their problem? And then you translate that into your content. You name it, you validate it. Not gross pain point, but you like speaking to their problem allows you to validate their experience, which creates feel seen, feel safe, moves them closer to ready to buy. Okay. Tool number 3, emotional schedule. This is a method for mapping out your audience's emotional landscape. We're taking everything from spending on problems, from empathy mapping, and then we're saying, what are the temporal landmarks? It's a term I used a few, basically like what are the times in the year that their problem is more, that they're more or less aware of this problem? Or how is what they're experiencing in this time of year changing the way they relate to this problem? One example I did last week, I was working with a client to sketch out all of her launch emails for enrolling into her one-on-one coaching spots this fall. And she works a lot with moms who are recovering people pleasers and like overachievers, got the A's, that's sort of, and they're still trying to get the A. She runs a coaching program called Good Girl Deprogramming. And so we're thinking about emotional scheduling, right? We're thinking about what is happening for that ideal customer during this next sales cycle. What is happening for them? Okay, back to school is happening. How is that going to affect them emotionally? How is that related to my offer promise, Good Girl Deprogramming? She wrote some good emails, y'all. I'm particularly proud of that. And so that's what this allows you to do. This is brilliant. Y'all, this is game changing. If you sell on Evergreen, please design your evergreen campaigns around an emotional schedule. If ever you're confused about what should I sell right now, look at the emotional schedule of your ideal customers, your best fit people, as well as what you want and money and all the things. But look at that to help shape decisions about what makes the most sense to sell right now. Okay. So that's a lot of data. You go through all of it. You figured out your people. You have the emotional schedule. Okay. This is how we actually make it usable. Because again, this, you might get some, like any of these exercises, they're going to be helpful for you. They're going to help your content, but I want to make it a little bit more systematized. Like I'm a course hoarder, dear God. The amount of information that I have consumed, especially early in my business and not acted on, is offensive. I'm offended by my past self. So I want you to take that data from each of those 3 tools or whichever one you start with, and I want you to do just these 3 things. Align. Start with what the goal for your content is. What do you want? The emails you're writing, the podcast you're going to record, the pitches you're sending, whatever. What do you want this thing to do? Do you want it to sell? Do you want it to build trust? Do you want it to grow your audience? What do you want it to do? Decide that first. Then, based on this goal, what does my audience need to see, feel, believe, or experience to do that thing? To do the action that I want them to do based on seeing this content. Then go through the translation process of creating the content. And ideally in the clarify section, this is going to be more than one thing, right? This is going to give you a lot of pieces of content for that specific goal. And if you're also looking at the different sections, like if you're looking at different problems, if you're looking at different thoughts from any of those first 3 tools, you're going to have, you will never run out of content ideas. You just might need to go back to your empathy map to remember. Okay, wrapping up. I told y'all I was going to power right through. Your words are the most powerful tool you have in your business, and I would argue your life. I don't care whether you're on social media or you are like me and pretty much social media optional, not wanting to hang out on social. If you are podcasting, if you're on video, if you're an introvert, if you're an extrovert, no matter where you promote, your words are your most powerful tool because they will allow you to communicate. And if your marketing isn't working, it's because it's not resonating. You fix that with empathy and emotion, which these tools will let you do. I would love for you to pick one of these tools, set a time limit. Don't let it become productive procrastination. I've taught these tools enough times to know that happens. Pick one, start there, use the ACT method, let that shape your sales content, start to let that shape your marketing content. And I want it again as an incentive, perhaps, to get you to actually implement. If you take action on one of these tools, I would love to offer you a copy critique, and I will critique up to 3 sales emails, up to 1 sales page, or up to 3 pieces of social media content. You choose which makes the most sense for you. Send it to my email, chelsea@business-whisperer.com. Send it to me, telling me I used which tool, spinning on problem, empathy mapping. I used which tool. Here's my content. Tell me what you think, and I will give that to you. Okay. If you want me to actually do this for you, if you're like, this sounds like a lot of work, I have my Say Less Sales messaging sprints. That's where I do this for you. I build out. I'm just going to nerd out on it. Here's my intro where let's find one. I just want to show you guys because they're really fun. Look at your cute little dashboard. So Say Less Sales messaging sprints give you an entire dashboard with offer clarity, offer positioning insights, all the things that you need to know, things that you need to speak to, swipeable copy that you can use for all of your calls to action, clarity on your audience. This is your empathy map that I build out for you. So you can just plug right in to what are they thinking and use the ACT creation prep method by plugging in right here. This is a section of what they need to know. This is your emotional schedule. And there's so much more. Messaging vault that I create for you, content ideas. So this is done with you. You basically voice note me a bunch of things or write me a bunch of things, and then I put all of this in place, and you have a dashboard that you can use for as long as you run your business. So that, I think, is that. I have 2 spots open for August. I'm doing a summer sale on them, so they're actually just $444 right now. And because I was I was feeling nuts. I've never done this, y'all. But if anyone wants one of those in the next 24 hours, I will write 5 emails for you based on your messaging. The end.
Oh,
Questions?
that's amazing. You are being very generous, Chelsea. Thank you so much. Yeah, who doesn't want free copy critique with oh my gosh, you got 2 free gifts and a free offer. For those watching us live, we do have the links in the chat for Chelsea for connect with her on her website, her 2 free gifts and a special offer. Those watching replay, which we'll have for the next 3 days, make sure you tune in under her video, and she's got some deadlines. So act now and help yourself because I love what you said. And I love that you said did you say you're in love with sales? Wow.
Yeah. Never would I have thought that would be the case. Used to hate it. Y'all, I used to be allergic. I hated it. I felt so uncomfortable. And I love it. Love selling. Love helping people sell. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I can see why you're a business whisperer. You make it sound easy. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Hope you stick around. All right, welcome again. If you're tuning in, we are watching the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit, and I have my next very special guest. My voice just changed, you can tell. I'm getting genuine. I mentor, leadership trainer, and more, a badass woman, as she describes herself, badass transformational trainer, and a mindset wizard, Lisa Conman. Hi, Lisa, welcome.
Hey, Justyna, how are you? Can you guys hear me? Yay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. First of all, I'm so happy I came early because Chelsea, thank you. I learned so much. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's really, really helpful and supportive. Well, welcome everybody. For those of you here live, for those of you that are to the video, Justyna, thank you for the invitation. You have been such a presence in my experience since our work at Hardcore Leadership and your work with my good friend Judith. And I know you're so good at what you do. So thank you for inviting me. My name is Lisa Kelman. Just really briefly, I have been training and coaching mindset, transformation, leadership for the last 37 years. I'm old. So I've been around the block a few times. And this talk is something I have delved into over the last 10 years or so, which really came out of my own experience around money and the flow of money or my relationship with money. What I noticed is there would be times that I would work hard. I love what I do, Chelsea. Thank you. And really being with people in a deep and connected way. And sometimes money would flow. And then sometimes it would not. And it would be super scarce. And I would struggle like many people do. So it was inconsistent. So I thought, what is going on here? And then I thought, use what you've known for 30 something years, 20 something years, which is it isn't about what's happening on the surface. There's got to be something underneath that. So I took a deep dive into my own belief system and relationship with money, as well as what is money. So as I started to look at money, I really started to look at, we love what money does for us. We love it. It gives us an ability to buy the things we want or invest in our business or send our kids to summer camp or whatever. And then we often tie an emotion to that: freedom, security, prominence, affluence, success, whatever that is. Money itself, if we think about money itself, has changed over the centuries, let's say it that way. Several hundred years ago, money was literally used to exchange things like you used furs or pelts or spices or coffee or tea, and you exchanged with it. And then if you think about a few hundred years ago, is coin. You hear the word coin, and it was copper, bronze, silver, gold, whatever it was. And then we had this stuff called cash, this paper stuff called cash, which I still love, by the way. I know not many people do, but I really do. Still love cash. And then we got these things called checks. Your parents might have used checks. Some of you might still. I do every, like once or twice a month, I'll use a check. And then we had these little plastic things called credit cards and then debit cards. And now what we use is this. We use our phone. We just put our phone down. In fact, at my Whole Foods in Southern California, I live in Southern California, you can go into Whole Foods and put your palm on a device and you sign up for it and they take a picture of your palm and you just buy with your palm. You just put your palm down and charges you for your groceries. Or Amazon Fresh stores, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you get on the carts that are programmed and you go get your stuff and leave and you never see a cashier because it just charges you. And now we have e-currency, et cetera. So money has changed its form over the centuries. So then what is money? If we look at everything is ultimately energy. If you take anything that's physical or our own bodies and you break it down to its tiny littlest particle, it's these protons, neutrons, and electrons bouncing around. They don't really touch. It's energy. So money is actually energy. And what I got excited about is if money is energy, money can be attracted and it can flow. If it's energy, it can be attracted because energy attracts or repels, and it can flow. And my favorite definition of money is an exchange we have chosen to represent our creative energy. Money is an exchange we've chosen to represent our creative energy. Because if you've been around long enough, when you want to access a flow of money, you just got to get creative. You got to just get creative and hustle about something. So if money can be attracted and flow, here's where I started to dive in with myself and then ultimately created a process around this, is that either we are attracting the flow of money or abundance, you could call it anything, or we're blocking it. We're either attracting it or we're in the way. And so I started with what gets in the way of our money flow. And because I work with people's worldview and their mindset and their paradigm and the way they come to life and look at life, I started looking there first. So if we want to look at what limits our flow of money, we get to start with what are the blocks. And there are 3 places to look. So if you want to write this down, if you're listening or watching the video, you can write this down. So the first place is culturally, there have been blocks that have been downloaded to us. This isn't even our family of origin or place of birth or anything like that. This is just, it's in the air. Things like money doesn't grow on trees. We've all heard that. Then it generates a scarcity mindset, or you have to work super hard for money, which I've found sometimes I'm working the same and not making a lot of money. That's I work really hard and not making a lot of money. One that everybody has heard as a misquote is money is the root of all evil. Now, the actual quote is from the Bible, which is the love of money is the root of all evil, which means the attachment and the need for it, that gets in the way. But think about this, if I've grown up and I've got this sort of background noise of money is the root of all evil, I don't want to be an evil human. I don't want to be a bad person. So I'm going to unconsciously push it away. Same thing if you've heard, and this could have been from both culture or your family of origin or who you grew up around or where you grew up. Rich people are greedy, rich people are dishonest, rich people are whatever they are. Well, if you don't want to be any of those things, again, you're going to have this unconscious block. So one place is a cultural downloading that we all are born into. The second is your individual upbringing. Again, family of origin could be mom, dad, or whoever played those roles. Could be aunties, uncles, grandparents. It could be the neighborhood or the environment, just your upbringing. So one of the questions I like to ask my clients is, what were the messages you received about money, both modeled and spoken? So you may have heard things like, you got to work hard, or rich people are this, or rich people are that. You could have heard something, or it could have been modeled, meaning it wasn't said, but it was in their behavior or in the energy. So I had a client one time tell me, wow, you know what? My parents never talked about money, but when we went to sleep as kids, they would argue about money. So money became this concern for that person around. It creates conflict or something like that. I have an example from my life. My dad, I grew up in the 70s. I was a teenager in the 70s, or young teen in the 70s. And it was what was called the energy crisis then. There was like this, I don't know, gas was like 30 cents a gallon. I don't know how big a crisis it was. But anyway, my dad would follow me around in the house. Now, he wouldn't say anything. He's a really good guy. Wouldn't say anything. But when I would leave a room, if I left the light on, he would turn it off. He would follow me around and turn the lights off. And so the modeled message I got was, oh, there's not enough. We've got to be careful. So do some journaling about what were the messages you got around money, both verbal and nonverbal, from your family, from your upbringing. I hear a lot of people say one of the parents was really loose with money and the other was super tight, something like that. Also could be, again, cultural around the upbringing you had. I happen to be Jewish, and there was just this sort of in our water, everybody be okay financially. Everybody be okay. Nobody ever talked about it. Nobody. And the same thing about education. Everybody's going to be well educated. And I just think there are certain cultures that breed that. And then the third place to look is your own experience with money, your own experience, meaning it could be as a child. Well, you may have wanted something really badly for Christmas and your parents said, we can't afford it. You can't get a bike. You can't get a this. You can't get a that. Or it could be older, like you invested and they took your money, or you had to close a business, or, you have your own shopping thing or something like that. I've heard people tell me, like, we were doing really well in my dad's business. My dad ended up, he owned a business and it went out of business, and then we didn't have money, and it was a complete breakdown in our family. So look at your own experience around money, both spending, saving, investing, making, etc. So those are three areas. You'll start to see that there have been some unspoken or subconscious blocks that may be in the way of you being an open receptor to the flow of money. Because the last thing let me say about this part is I didn't say before, there is enough money. There's actually more money on the planet right now than there was when we started 15 minutes ago. Now there's more again, and there's more again. So there's plenty of money. There's plenty of money. COVID hit, and a lot of people took a big hit financially. And there were some people who actually made billions and billions of dollars more because of COVID. Okay, so wasn't the outside conditions. So those are areas to look at where you're blocked. One other place to look at where you might be blocking the flow is what I call your set point. And a set point is, if you think about the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat, a thermometer goes up and down based on the conditions. Hot outside, it goes up, cold outside, it goes down. A thermostat actually sets the conditions. So when you set your thermostat for 68 degrees in your home, that's what happens to the environment. We have a money thermostat. It sets the conditions. Now, so I want you to think about, where do you have a pattern in your money? So for example, maybe you make different amount of money coming in at the beginning of the month, whether you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or you're commissioned or whatever. You have different amount of money coming in the bank account at the beginning of the month, always the same amount left over at the end. Okay? Or you have a business and you always end up with the same net profit or the same revenue. Or maybe your set point is in the domain of your debt. I don't know how many, I've had this experience where my debt gets higher and it gets uncomfortable and I get it down. And a few months later, all of a sudden it's back up again. Like, how did that happen? Or savings. Like you go, okay, I'm going to get my savings to the place where I feel comfortable with my savings. And I've got that emergency fund and boom, it's there. And then something breaks. You got to buy something for your car or water heater, something expensive. And all of a sudden that savings is low. So notice where you have patterns because you have a set point. And if you notice your set point, I like easy things I can remember. So my way of resetting a set point is to use an affirmation, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, even if you have trouble with affirmations. And I'll say something like this: I am so happy and grateful for the X amount of money I have in my savings account. Or I'm so happy and grateful for the $2,000 of debt other than my mortgage that I'm carrying. Or I'm so happy and grateful for the X amount of revenue coming in. I'm so happy and grateful for the 3 high-paying clients that just hired me. I'm so happy and grateful. Because one, it just your mind going. And we know we do attract what we think, what we say, what we feel, what we be. We start attracting. But we're really just a big old magnet for whatever we're putting out there. So I do that. So watch out for your set points. That's another place you block. Now, I promised in my little, what you're going to get out of this is, okay, how can you immediately start to open the flow? And I'm going to use 3 things you've heard of that you may not be using as powerfully as you could be. One is affirmations. So affirmations are stating something in the future as if it is. So first thing about affirmations, never say an affirmation about something you don't want. So don't put, oh, I'm so happy my aching back stopped hurting. You don't want to put in anything that you don't want. You want to put, I'm so happy for my health, or I'm so grateful for, I'm an abundant, I have a millionaire mind, whatever it is you say. Now, there are a million affirmations in the world. Go to YouTube, go to Google, go to anywhere, and you can find something that'll work for you. But whatever affirmation you use, pick something simple you can remember, and then repeat it over and over again, and work with the vibration of as if it is. And what I mean by the vibration, the feeling. Dr. Joe Dispenza does tons of work on this. It's really, really powerful. And he's done the research behind it. Look it up. For all you, as Chelsea said, all you analytical researchers, go look it up. Okay. But what you feel and vibrate out is what you're going to attract. So if you say, oh, I'm so happy and grateful for my $50,000 client, if you don't match it, it's not going to happen. Got to match the feeling and the energy. And I know it feels funky sometimes. So for those of you who have what I call a cognitive dissonance to affirmations, like you say an affirmation, but there's this little tiny voice in the back of your, well, it's not true yet, like this tinge of doubt, which I used to have. I'm going to give you a hack. Instead of the affirmation, ask it in a what I call a lofty question. Ask it in a question. So like this, why do I have X amount of money flowing into my bank account every week or every month? Why do I have 3 high-paying clients hiring me every month? Why do I have my debt reducing by $1,000 a week? Blah, blah, whatever it is. The universe, God, higher power, however you have that, has to organize to answer the question. Just like it organizes to bring the affirmation. So if the affirmation is difficult, use the lofty question. Use the lofty question. Okay. And then secondly, I'm going to talk about gratitude. Everybody knows gratitude, have attitude of gratitude. But here's what I want to say about gratitude. I've worked with, a lot of people and thank God I had a client who was so honest with me. He goes, I know gratitude. I feel like I should be grateful for. He was really authentic about it. And I'm like, that's so great, because how often do we go, okay, I got to do my gratitude list. I should be grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my kids. Sometimes I notice I'm not feeling grateful about my kids, and I'm loving my kids, like to the heart of my heart. So with gratitude, I'm going to invite you to be in complete and total gratitude for whatever's happening in this moment. So if you go out to your car and you've got a flat tire, it's like, so grateful. How grateful am I this is happening? I have a friend who this is the way she does it. When something happens like that, she's like, how does it get any better than this? So gratitude is not only when it's convenient for us. Gratitude is the vibration of complete and total presence with what is, with grace. And I think of the Dalai Lama, the guy hasn't had a house in 60 years. Like, he's in complete gratitude. So that's, for me, how you use the vibration of gratitude powerfully. And then lastly is visioning. I call it visioning. And a great way to vision is, if you're an auditory person, if you're more auditory, then I'm going to invite you to write out your vision as if it's like, however you need to do it. It's 2030. I am living here. I am being this. I'm in a relationship with this. My body is X, all of it. And then record it for yourself on your little voice note on your phone and listen to it all the time if you're auditory. If you're visual, vision board. Now, we know vision boards are great. Now, you can do them with a poster, or you can there's lots of little apps. There's lots of great apps. Mind Movies is owned by a friend of mine. It's good. And there's this app called, oh, awesome, Chelsea. There's this app called Subliminal Vision Boards. I'll tell you why I like that one. So here's the power of a vision board. You put on it pictures of what you want to have happen that hasn't happened yet, including like a check for amount of money, house you want to live in, etc. Our brains have what is called a reticular activating system. Okay, and the reticular activating system is it's that part of our system that keeps us, like when we are on top of a building and we go, wouldn't it be fun to fly? I think that'd be so fun to fly. That keeps us from actually jumping off the building because we know it's not a great idea. Okay, it also limits possibility at times. So what happens on a vision board, if you look at some house you want, it's out of your price range or whatever, your reticular activating system goes, I don't know, interest rates are 9 and 8% and whatever. Your visual bypasses your reticular activating system and starts to manifest in your unconscious. Great example, if you've ever watched, The Secret. John Assaraf talks about his vision board, and he ends up in this house he had on a vision board 15 years earlier when he didn't have any money. And he bought this mansion in San Diego. It happened to be the same house he had on his vision board. When my partner and I were pregnant with twins, we found out we had twins. We were like, oh, need a bigger place to live. Years before that, we had gone to this neighborhood we never thought about living in. And I had taken this brochure and of a model of a house and put it on a vision board. We ended up buying that model of the house in a neighborhood we had never even thought about living in. It was crazy. So they work. The subliminal vision board does this. It's a little app where you hit this thing called click 5 or hit 5 or something, take 5 or something, and it goes 5 minutes of quickly putting those visuals in rapid fire so it bypasses your reticular activating system faster. Lots of ways to do vision boards, lots of ways to use vision boards. So money is energy. It can be attracted or it can flow. If you're not attracting the money you want, you're either blocking it unconsciously with hidden limiting beliefs or maybe some beliefs, or you're not attracting it by opening the flow. First, do some work on what are some of those set points or those beliefs, and then really use affirmations, vision board, gratitude to start opening the flow, and you'll see some immediate openings. You'll see some immediate openings. Okay, so I have a free gift for you. It happens to be happening tonight. So I don't know how many of you, if you're watching the recording, probably missed it, but you can contact me if you want to get the replay. I'm doing a 90-minute masterclass along these lines with very similar content, but much deeper into each category tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's free masterclass. And it is leading into, I have a course called Money, Wealth, and Miracles that starts next week. It's 6 online sessions that we take this learning and go deep. I have had people make thousands of dollars, release hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, just crazy stuff. So crazy. Thank you, Chelsea. And so I invite you to that. And you have a $200 gift on that because it's usually $697. It's $497 for the 6 sessions they're live training. It's not evergreen. It's live, me talking to you, coaching you. So hope I did that in time, Justyna. Hope I did. So come to the class tonight or get to me or register and you'll get the replay. If you register, you will get the replay if the timing doesn't work for you.
That's what I was going to say. Register anyway, even if you can't come, because I know you have replay. We have more links for you and your offers on your page, but I posted the link to the masterclass because it's live. I know we're live.
Yeah, we're going tonight. Yeah. Yeah, perfect timing. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, thank you. It's fire, and I know we only have 30 minutes today, so you can go, but you still drop so many great nuggets. I love it. The visualization, asking yourself a question instead of a statement.
Lofty question.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you, whatever resonated with you, please feel free to put it in the chat, or if you're watching replay, reply back because I'll forward it to Lisa.
Ah, thanks.
It's amazing. Who doesn't have money blocks? Honestly, I always think it's working.
Well, even people who feel like they've got enough money, and I think we're all talking, I call it first world problems. We all can live in our homes and probably drive our cars or have a way to feed our children and educate our children. And I feel super blessed about that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you can put in the chat, Lisa Kalman on Facebook, Lisa Kalman on Instagram, Lisa Kalman on Linkbook. It's just my name. And my quick website, if I can put this in, is lisakalman.com. There's a quick little free ebook there that's not about money. It's just about making honey out of the bee sting. It's really just a pamphlet. Anyway, I think that even when we feel like we've got enough, these hidden beliefs and blocks are definitely in the way. Definitely in the way. So.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, I can relate to that because, I grew up in Poland and then the post-World War II eras. And I'm sure even here, a lot of people can have generations from the Great Depression and just in general struggles. So we do inherit those, whether we know it or not. We witnessed it. And these are not our values. So I love it. And yes, join her masterclass because she goes into depth into how to do it. And then if you want to work with Lisa, definitely sign up for her program. And thank you for offering the generous promotion today.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you so much for being on.
Welcome, honey. Thank you for asking. I really love being here and best of wishes to your audience. And I hope the summit is a super big success.
Yes, I appreciate you being here. And again, everyone, you've been honored and blessed with Lisa Kalman's presence, and sign up for her money mindset, opening the flow of money, letting go of your stops tonight in her program. Thank you.
I have another appointment. I'm going to run off. I adore you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ah, deep breath. Every speaker is special. I wish I could absorb it all. I don't know about how you guys are feeling. So much good stuff, so many great gifts. So just to remind you, if you would like to have these recordings to keep forever, I'm also turning them into a private podcast so that you can keep watching, rewatch, keep learning, and sign up for the VIP. It is only $47 until the summit ends, so take advantage of that. I'm going to put it in the chat here just in case someone here cannot stay. And I appreciate everyone tuning in. I know 3 days of live events is a lot. So those of you guys who are here today live, I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm a CEO of Magnetic Brand. My website is magneticbrandonline.com. If you would like to talk to me about your own summit or your own events, you can also reach out to me on my website, magneticbrandonline.com. I do have a free consultation call with, you can schedule right on my website with me. So feel free to connect. And again, huge thank you to all of you guys and everyone. We have a couple more speakers. I'm going to link them in. A couple of them couldn't be here live, so I have a special message. Let me share that with
Hello, 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 everybody. I'm so pumped to be here today. This room is bursting with brilliance. And Justyna, look, can we all take a second to give it up for the incredible Justyna Nielsen for bringing us together today? Go ahead and put a thank you in the chat to thank her for what she has put together here. Justyna, your heart for helping people grow, lead, and earn, it is unbelievably inspiring and is part of the reason why we are here. Thank you so very much for inviting us.
Yeah, Justyna, thank you. And thank you, all of you, for showing up today. Whether you're here to grow your brand, to get more clients, or to stop shouting out in the void of the algorithm with nothing to show for it, we got you.
That's right.
We're here to reveal how to turn your content into clients without needing to go viral, dance in a fedora, or become a full-time TikToker, unless, of course, you want to.
Yeah, no judgments at all. So let's start here. Most people are creating content that is entertaining, but it's not enrolling.
Yeah.
And look, it is not your fault. You were probably just told, just post consistently and the clients will come. But content without strategy is like karaoke without no lyrics. You're just yelling, hoping someone sings along.
Exactly. The biggest shift happens when you stop treating your content like a hobby and start using it like a client magnet. So here's our first strategy, the magnet message formula. This is the formula we give our clients who want to attract qualified leads. It calls out it agitates what it's costing them for not taking action and hints that there's an easier way. So then you're going to invite them to get the what, not the how, for working with you. For example, still relying on referrals to get clients? That's like waiting for someone to toss you scraps instead of owning the whole restaurant. Here's what to post instead.
Ooh.
So we're identifying the problem, we're giving a solution, we're teasing that there's a better option, and then we give them more.
Oh, yes, love it. That one shift, talking to your people about what's actually keeping them up at night, turns passive content into powerful attraction. When I stopped posting to enter to everyone and started posting to enroll the right people, my DMs turned into my calendar. Just it was awesome.
Laughing. You should see his inbox. It's something. No.
All good stuff. Depending on what you like and don't like.
It's the one who filters it. It's a thing. Now, once you have content that attracts, it's time to position. You want people to see you not as a vendor, not as a service provider, but as the go-to expert.
Amen.
Here's how you're going to do that. It's the authority triangle. You're going to get social proof, show results, client wins, screenshots, testimonials. Then you're going to use a unique framework. You want to have a named method, even if it's simple. And so you could literally say it's the sale method or the eat more method or the relationship now method. Name your system because it creates uniqueness. That's you. And then you want to offer third-party credibility, interviews, collaborations, media, podcasts. When you have someone else position you as the expert and authority, it creates instant trust with your audience.
Yeah, exactly. Like people don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel like you understand them. And then they can trust you to get results.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, but I don't have a framework, here's the secret. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
If you've helped someone get from A to B, you have a method. Even if it's in your head, name it, share it, own it.
Okay, now let's talk about the thing that people feel weird talking about some, but we need to talk. Let's talk about money.
Show me money.
Tell me the money. Look, you're showing up, you're posting, but if you're not making offers, you're just entertaining for free. And let me tell you, ask me how I know. I stopped entertaining for free a long time ago, and it was huge. So here's the formula we use, and it's extremely simple. Value, value, offer.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, you're going to give them value. You're going to give them a little more value. Then you're going to make your offer.
Yeah.
So here's 3 simple offers you can make on your post that don't feel salesy. So offer a valuable piece of content, then another valuable piece of content. And then you're going to say, maybe you're going to offer a free gift. Want the full checklist? Comment gift and I'll send it. Or if you want to DM an invitation, if this resonates, DM me the word ready. Or if you want to link to your calendar, if you're ready to get unstuck, book a free strategy call here.
The valuable content here, because I once posted a single reel with a call to action just like that, and I booked, still thinking about the DMs, and I booked, when you said DM, I was like, a little shudder went through my body. I was like, oh.
So like, this is something we're uncomfortable thinking about. I was literally thinking about your DMs.
So that being said, my DM.
I know where the bodies are buried. I just don't.
True.
And I will never say it out loud, but my
Yeah.
face tells the whole story.
Something else. So, like I was saying, once I posted a reel with a call to action like that, I'd like to book 2 speaking gigs from the one post. Why? Because I gave people a clear path to say yes.
Justyna, aren't you so glad you asked us? Okay, when your content is clear and client,
I'll tell you. I'll go. When your content is clear and client attracting and conversion ready, that is when your business starts to feel easy. So to recap, hey, look, can you tell we like to have fun? This is fun for us. And it should be fun for you too, by the way. Hello?
I'm going to put it together.
Okay.
Here's your 3-part framework.
Yes.
Content that attracts, speak to the pain, be bold.
Yes.
Content that positions, show your wins, name your method.
I'm just here with you. I'm here with you.
The final part, you can do it.
If you didn't hear that last part, content that positions, show your wins, name your method, and then content that converts. Make that ask. And look, make it often. Keep putting yourself out there. Keep asking. It is like just fishing. Think about how many more fish you could catch if you went out with 100 rods, with 100 of the right bait on the end of it. Open your own fish market if you wanted to. Now, look, if you want to shortcut this entire process and get our plug-and-play system for turning your content into clients, Justyna asked us to do something special today for this group only.
So if you want the exact talk structure we use to close high-ticket clients from the stage, land massive keynote deals, sell out webinars and masterclasses, and turn one talk into 6 figures in sales, get the free $1 Million Talk template now at milliontalktemplate.com. That's milliontalktemplate.com right now.
That's right. Look, we believe in you, and we are so grateful to be here with you today.
Yeah, Justyna, thank you again for having us and letting us join your amazing community. Now go out there and get more clients.
We can't wait to see what you create.
All right, everyone. That was our special guests, Kim Walsh-Phillips and Justin Guarini, ex-American Idol contestants, founders of the Elite Speakers Network, sharing their secrets to turn your content into clients without having to go viral. Go ahead and grab their gifts. It's in the chat. If you tune into replay, we'll also include it next to their video. They had another event actually going out today. I highly recommend them in one of their programs. and they're wonderful in getting you to to on stages and to speak and to be visible to get clients without having to go viral. I appreciate them showing up today and recording this for us, and sharing their knowledge, as well as their free gift, the million dollar template, how to turn your message into money. I see I have someone else joining today. You're tuning into the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Justyna Nielsen, your host. I'm a virtual event and marketing strategist. You can find me online at magneticbrandonline.com. We have one more special gift today. We have Katerina Rondo, and she is a powerhouse woman with amazing gifts to share with us today. Katerina is, one second, just getting my screen ready here. Katerina is an award-winning producer, speaker, women's retreat producer, podcaster, author, and women business coach. She's the founder of Thriving Women in Business Community, and it's all about positivity, integrity, generosity, and uplifting others. I connected with Katerina, and she was just a wonderful resource. She's a part of many groups like Polka Dots and other groups that support women and what she does. You can connect with her. I'll put some links in the chat here for you to connect with her online. And I'm just getting ready for her presentation. I'm curious, how are you all doing today? I know it's been 3 days of long summit, a lot of wonderful guests. I'm curious, is there one or more than one speaker that really resonated with you? Who was your favorite, or someone that you feel like could really help you the most? Who did you connect with? And what are your biggest aha moments? We'd love to know that. We'd love to know how you're enjoying the show today. Your feedback is very important. It helps us create future events. It helps us support our speakers. This is meant to be an interactive event where we want to hear from you. You're not just here to listen. We actually want to know what your opinion is, what works, what doesn't, and also if there's anything that you would like to see in future events. Maybe there's something missing for you. Maybe there's some more that you want to go more in depth. I would love to know, because like I said, it's all about you, our audience, and creating what works to support you in your journey from solopreneur to CEO of your own business. Let me share Katerina's talk today. Again, she's here talking about how to get Insta clients with speaking and workshop, and she's just a wonderful resource for you, and you're going to learn a lot. So drop your thoughts in the chat while we're watching Katerina. Let's welcome.
To be with you at the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Katerina Rando, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to gain Insta clients with speaking and workshops. Now, really, I'm not with you. I'm in Thailand. So what I've done is I've taken the best parts of my recent 2 workshops on gaining Insta clients with speaking and workshops. I've taken the best info. I've put it here for you to enjoy. It's full of super tips, ideas for you to embrace right away. And it's my desire that after you listen to this, you will amplify your speaking. You'll have more clarity on what to do and how to do it. And you will begin to bliss more and thrive more in your business with speaking and workshops. Call on me anytime on Facebook or LinkedIn if I can support you in any way to thrive more with speaking and workshops in your business. My friends, I'm blessing to be with you. Okay, what's our hot topic for today? Our hot topic for today is how you can gain Insta clients with speaking and workshops. How many of you are currently doing a monthly free thing a monthly workshop every month consistently. Mary Gold Star, Julie Gold Star. Okay, everybody else, we're going to get you on it. Here's why. Nobody will ever buy from us until we've built influence with them. Nobody will ever buy from us if we haven't built influence with them. So what does that mean? That means we have to build influence before we ask people to buy. But how do we do that? You could go networking, and we love networking, right? Everybody who loves networking. I love networking. I love visiting with the ladies, meeting the ladies, hearing the speakers. Yes, networking is awesome. Here's the challenge with networking. With networking, people know you, they like you, they think you're friends, they enjoy your company, but they don't necessarily know that you are the solution to whatever their challenge is. And that is why speaking works, because it builds instant influence. Now you might, well, Katerina, I only want to have a referral business. Bing, bing. Good for you, my friend. But guess what? You still have to build influence with the people that are referred to you. I just got a referral yesterday from one of my VIP clients. And this gal doesn't know me. She doesn't know me. She doesn't know the massive value I have to bring. And so when I get on the phone with her, I'm not going to try to sell her something, right? I'm simply going to get to know her, see if I'm a match for her. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite her to come to my workshop. And what happens when she comes? She's going to get massive value, and she's going to be ready for more, or interested in more, or at least interested in continuing to engage with me so that she has whatever she's looking for her challenging situation. Everybody got it? And let me tell you how this began. I've been doing this for 31 years. Now, when I say this, here's what I want you to know. When you have your own business, it's a very circuitous route. And what that means is you start in one place, that's not necessarily where you end up. When I first started, I was doing one-on-one coaching with business owners. My first business was I owned a cafe and catering business, which I loved. I loved getting to know the people. But you know what? The catering business taught me a lot about customer care, how to treat your clients good. But you know what? When you want clients or customers and you own a business on a sunny corner, all you got to do is turn on the lights and open the door. But when you are working from home, as many of us are, I have a lovely mailman, but he's not my ideal client. They don't just knock on the door, which is why we have to get out there. And that's why speaking is so powerful. So in the beginning, I did one-on-one coaching. Then I realized, hey, it's really hard to get clients because I didn't know how to sell because everybody walked through my door. So then I started to speak. Now, even when I didn't know the selling part, I still got clients because I was building Insta influence. And that's what I want to focus on with you today. Now, I hear a lot of people tell me a lot, Katerina, I want to be a paid professional speaker. Let me tell you something. I am a paid professional speaker. I'm doing a video tonight for somebody. I'm doing a 30-minute video for a company. They're paying me $500 for 30 minutes on Zoom. Hey, I'm happy with that. I've run across the country and been paid $7,500 for a day with 3 workshops. But here's what I want you to get. When somebody writes you a big check, that is your compensation. And you don't get to sell to the audience. Occasionally you might get to sell if it's like, I've done a lot of speaking in the direct selling arena, and sometimes they let you sell to their sales force. But most of the time when you get a check, that's your compensation. So you're working really hard to get a check and you're competing with all the other people that all they do is professional speak. What I prefer to do is go wherever 2 or more women are gathered, virtually or live and in person, bring my massive value, bring my super tips, begin that relationship, build that Insta influence, and start to get to know people, women in my case, that I think are a good match for me. In next month, we're going to invite you to our Shiro Speaker Summit, which is our 2 half-day event on using speaking to grow your business and massively monetize in your business. And I was just looking the night before last at the list of people that are coming. And there are 4 women that are coming that don't know this yet. I haven't told them yet. They have purchased over 10 programs with me. Now, not little programs, not $497, multiple $1,000 programs. Almost, definitely every single one of those gals I met at a speech. That speech that was free has paid me in some cases since 2014, 2017. Year after year, that speech has paid me. That's just 4 of the clients. We have about 85 clients in our VIP client community right now. And that means they're invested in programs. And 90+% of them are met at a free speech. And our business will generate at least 400K this year. We've been at about 385 for the last few years. We'll definitely do over 4 this year. My goal is to do 500K so I could take my team on a cruise in January. That's the plan. Now, I'm telling you my numbers because I want you to hear the power of free speaking, or what I like to call marketing speaking. Because you can make a call and get booked for a speech that you're not going to be compensated for today. And you can book that speech. And you can book that speech, and I'm going to go over some of the different ways to get booked. And that speech can pay you for years and years. And that's what I want for you. Please don't be, the glamour of the professional speaker. Yes, you get to run around. Yes, somebody gives you a check. But you know what? You also have a boss then. Somebody who is telling you what they want, what they don't want, what to include or not include in your talk. And that's okay for them to ask because they're paying for it. But for you, I prefer to be myself, do my thing, serve my people, and massively monetize at the same time. All right, let's talk about the different kinds of public speaking. Now, the first one we've been talking about, professional speaking. We've talked enough about that. Okay, the next one is community service. This is where you go speak to a group. You speak at the high school. You speak at your church group. You speak somewhere where people are gathered and they want your message, but they're not your ideal clients. And that's okay. It's community. We love community service. Community service is awesome. But here's what I want to make sure that you don't kid yourself. Community service is not marketing speaking. It's practice. And many times gals say to me, Katerina, I'm speaking all over. And I say, where are you speaking? And the places they tell me they're speaking are not where their ideal clients are gathered. And that's what I want you to hear. For you, yes, do a little community service, but limit yourself, please. Limit yourself to 1 or max 2 community service talks a month. Now, also, some people might advise you, you know what? Go just for the practice. Go to any group, anywhere, anytime for the practice. No, my friends, please do not do that. And let me tell you why. So if I'm talking to you and I'm talking about sales or speaking to grow your business, or that audience is not interested in my talk. And when they're not interested, do you know what they do? They do other things. They fall asleep. They pull out their phone. And that is no fun. And the other thing is you got to work extra hard to even keep their attention. But also, more importantly, you're not going to walk out the door with any leads. And that means you just wasted your time. And even if it's a half-hour speech and you got to jump in your car, that's going to take you at least half a day. Would you agree? So please, but here's the other thing. You're not going to leave that talk uplifted. You're not going to leave that talk feeling like, bing, bing, I got to do this every day. But when you go and you talk to your ideal audience, you don't necessarily walk out with leads every time, but you're always blissing because you've been of service to people that were interested in your message. Did you hear that, my friends? Okay, so enough with the anywhere, anytime, and this is for virtual too. Please only speak to your ideal audience. So we talked about professional speaking. We talked about community service. The next thing is, here's something fun. Stage swap. What's a stage swap? That is when you go speak on Sheila's stage or to her community, and she comes and speaks on your stage or your community. And by the way, there's also the podcast swap, where you go talk on Sheila's podcast, Sheila comes and talks on your podcast. Now, I want to make a very important distinction. Super tip alert, super tip alert. Podcasting is not speaking. Now, it is visibility. It is getting your voice out there. We love podcasting. I have a podcast. It's called Expand Your Fempire. But here's the thing. When you do a podcast, you don't know when is that podcast going to come out. Also, everybody says the links are in the show notes. I'm asking you right now, how many times have you looked at the show notes for a podcast you listen to? Oh, 0, Jana. Okay, guess what? Me too. I listened to 10 episodes over the holidays. Did I look at the show notes once? No. Here's the other. Now, I'm very pro podcasting, okay? But what I want to tell you that it's a slower path to cash. The biggest benefit I find with podcasting is once people meet me, it builds more influence when they start listening to the episodes. The other thing, though, is that when you do a podcast, you're not lead capturing in the moment, okay? Like right now, we know who came, who's not here. If I was speaking at another group, I would get to take a screenshot. By the way, hopefully you're all taking a screenshot every time you're in a Zoom room. Then you're looking up those gals to see if they're a good match for you. You're inviting them to your workshop. Did everybody hear that? Okay, that's what we do. So please recognize that as much as I love podcasting, I still want you to do it, but it doesn't count for your 2 speeches a month, okay? And by the way, that 2 is not on your stage. That 2 is other people's stages, and then you're doing at least 1 workshop a month on your own, just like we're doing today, okay? I usually do 2 a month. This month in July, I'm just doing 1. We did 2 in June. And depending on the time of year is when you might add a second or even a third workshop of your own. Now you say, Katerina, why would I want to add a second or a third? Because before you're doing something that is starting, like maybe you're starting a group in September, then you might want to do 2 or 3 in August, so you meet more gals to invite them to join your group. Okay? Now, super tip alert, July is the dip month of the year. July is always lower. We had in June, we had 35 smiles on the screen in June, like 75 RSVPs. In July, there's always a dip. Now, by the way, here's another super tip. I know that. So I don't get disappointed when I say, oh my God, we only have this many gals signed up. Oh my gosh, we only have this many gals show up. I don't get depressed because I know there's always a dip. From a speaking perspective and a strategic speaking perspective, here's another thing I want you to note. When somebody says to me, hey, Katerina, would love for you to come talk to my group, and they say, when would you like to come? I never pick July. Why? Because I know there's going to be a lower amount of people in the audience. Okay. Now, back to this same strategy about getting booked. Before, in my early years, somebody say, hey, Katerina, come talk to my group. And they would say, when would you like to come? And I would always think, well, the sooner the better. I'll come ASAP. But now I'm smarter. And I look at, when am I starting what? And I want to go in the 6 weeks before I'm going to have my Shiro Summit, or I'm going to have my Fempire Summit, or I'm going to start my sales class. Are you with me, my friends? Okay, so be strategic with your booking. Okay, now, so we were talking about the stage swap as another way to get booked. The other thing is what we have already been discussing, which is doing your own workshop. These are some of the top ways for you to embrace your speaking. Now, there's also pay to play. I am not anti-pay to play. I am very pro pay to play, as long as the pay is not too much to play. What do I mean by that? You want to evaluate if this person who is producing this event is going to be able to deliver what they promise. And how do you determine that? You could go to one of their events. You could ask past speakers if they got value. And you could watch them for a while. But you could also ask some key questions. And the first key question I ask whenever someone says, hey, we're doing pay to play, we would love to have you come speak, I say, have you done this event before? Because I'm going to tell you something, in my gazillion years of doing my thing, I can count on 6 fingers how many times there's been more people in the room than the event producer told me. 99% of the time, there is going to be a lot. There's going to be less, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a lot. But one of the things that helps with that is if they've done it before, they're going to have a better sense of their numbers. So don't you be their guinea pig, okay? The first time, go. And then pay to play the next time if you love it. Also, does their audience match you? Because sometimes people say we're going to have a ton of business people and they've got a ton of students, for example, and that's not my audience. Okay? And by the way, hopefully you have super clarity on who your audience is, so you're only talking to those people. That's pay to play. Okay, there's another one of my favorites. The collaborative speaking opportunity. I've got lots of amazing clients, and I'm going to tell you about 2 of them. Sandy Okamoto, she is a image and style professional. She's fabulous. And Stephanie Flanders Martin, she does yoga retreats. She has a travel company. And she has another business. She's got 3 big businesses. And they do workshops together. Stephanie talks about the 6 different ways of travel. And Sandy gets ladies ready for packing for their trip. They collaborate. So they both invite people. They bring their audience together. And as a result, that has both of them meet new people and get new clients. Did you hear that? That is super fun. So think about the collaborative speaking engagement. And I want you to think about who might you want to partner with on a collaborative speaking opportunity. Okay, so my friends, those are some of the big ones. And I want you to think about what you'd like to do more of. I don't know if I said it specifically, actually, guesting on other people's stages. This is the fastest way to get booked. Also, here's homework for all of you. I would really like you to, after our time together, please look at your calendar and schedule your monthly Zoom event, just like this one, through the end of the year. But here's where you're going to do what I say and not what I do, okay? Don't schedule it when you don't have time after to talk to people. I scheduled it today. Tomorrow I'm starting my retreat for my top level clients at my center in San Francisco. That was poor planning on my part. Okay. Why? Because then I don't have time to talk to all of you and say, bing, bing, would you like to come to Shiro? Would you like to look at joining program? Just getting to know you better. I didn't set myself up for success because I'm starting my retreat tomorrow. Not good with my planning this month, but that's okay, because you know what? Perfection is not required or encouraged. And this is, by the way, let's hang out here in the perfection zone, okay? Because my friends, here's what I hear a lot. Oh, I'm working on my talk. I hear this all the time. I say, hey, my friend, how are you doing with your speaking? I'm working on my talk. They're not my client. I see them next month networking. Hey, my friend, how you doing with your speaking? I'm working on my talk, or I'm getting ready, or I'm thinking about it. Okay, no, my friends, none of this is acceptable. Here's what you do. You ready? Here's the strategy to succeed with your workshop and your speaking. You ready? Very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the first step. Pick a date. Second one, pick a time. Third step, pick a topic. Fourth one, tell some people to come to your thing. Okay? That's it, my friends. It's not rocket science. And here's where you might say, well, Katerina, you know, that's fine for you because you've been doing it a long time. I'm just getting started. Guess what? We all have to start somewhere, but also, here's what I want you to hear. When somebody comes to your talk, they're not coming to evaluate your presentation skills. They are coming because they are hoping that you have a solution for them. Here's 2 important reasons why you don't want to put it off. Because when you push it off, you are pushing off the revenue that's not coming from the workshops you're not doing. But there's an even more important reason not to push off your workshop. Because the goal is not just to do the workshop. The goal is to master your speaking. And what is mastery? Mastery is when you do something with ease. You do it without a lot of preparation. You're really good at doing it. And the fourth thing is you're blissing while you're doing it. Now, if you say, Katerina, I'm definitely not blissing when I'm speaking, that's only because you haven't mastered it yet. Are you with me? And how do you master it? By getting other people to book you over and over? Yes, that helps. But the best way to master your speaking is to book yourself solid. Got it, my friends? Okay. Right now, let's talk about getting you booked for some speaking. Does that sound good? Okay. Here's the first one. If I look at your LinkedIn profile and your Facebook profile on your business page, does it say speaker? Bing, bing. Jana, you make me bliss. Everyone else, hand down. And then that is homework for you, okay? So after our time together, add speaker. And here's why. Because on LinkedIn and on business page of Facebook, it is searchable. And I have clients that have gotten talks. I have several clients that have gotten talks simply by having speaker on their LinkedIn profile for health coach or what health speaker, menopause speaker, whatever it is. Okay. So really make sure that is on your profile. That's super easy, right? You can insta do that. Okay. Next one. If I go to your website, am I going to see a tab on your toolbar for events, speaking, training? If not, put your hand down. Okay. Okay, great. I'm going to give you a few more. And first, let me celebrate Tanya and Gianna. and Justyna for their awesome loud and proudness. And now I'm going to give you some more loud and proudness, okay? Have you ever sent a dedicated email to your list just about speaking? Hey, my friends, by XYZ, you may or may not also know that I'm a speaker. And here's 3 hot topics that I talk about with a little description. And then invite them to book you for speaking. Your clients know that you are an XYZ, but they don't necessarily know that you are also a speaker. You vibing with me on that? So please, now I will tell you something. This dedicated email, most people don't take the time to do it. The ones that do get action from it. They may not get insta action, but now their people know. Also, if you have a newsletter that you are sending out on a regular basis, do you have a section as a SOP template in your newsletter where you're speaking? Because then every month people on your list will see, oh, you're speaking. And again, that reminds them that you are a speaker. Okay, here's my favorite one. When you are doing a talk, I want you to post on your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Insta, wherever you hang out. Hey, my friends, I have a great talk on XYZ. I'm looking for audiences of whoever your ideal clients are, XYZ. Who can you connect me with? When you do that, you may get some Insta bookings. I've gotten Insta bookings. Some of my clients have gotten Insta bookings from one post. Of course, ideally put a picture of you speaking, and if you don't have that, just a picture of you smiling is great. One gal sends me a note one day on Facebook, Katerina, I was in your class a couple weeks ago. You made me do that thing where I had to post on Facebook, and I got crickets. I was so mad at you. But you know what? Today, someone invited me to come talk to their company because they saw my post. And in this case, she actually got paid $500. Are you with me, my friends? So not all results are Insta. And this is what I want you to note and remember. And by the way, not all results from your workshops are Insta either. We still want to talk to people. We still have to do our follow-ups and our circle backs and get to know people and invite them to re-engage with us. Okay. Celebrating you for being loud and proud speakers. There's more, but start there. Okay, so your website, my friends, make sure on your website it says about your speaking and your workshops, okay? All right, I got a few more minutes. I got a few more things to tell you. I got a lifetime supply for you, but we're going to wrap up on time. You know what? Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to get more smiles on the screen or derrieres in chairs. Here's the first one. The way to get smiles on the screen, yes, we're going to post on our website. Yes, we're going to put it in groups. Yes, we're going to share it when we're at a meeting. But the best way to get smiles on the screen are personal invitations. How do you do that? Personal invitations are when you invite people to come to your event. Now, the difference between personal invitation and promotion. When you DM someone, send them a direct message on Facebook or LinkedIn, and they know you even just a little bit, they're going to respond. And what that does is it forces the decision for them to come, to evaluate if they want to come. They might have to open their calendar. Here's the thing. When they just see that you're doing a workshop, oh, Janice doing a workshop. Oh, that looks good. I want to get to one of her things. Oh, Mary's doing a thing. Yeah, she was telling me about that. That looks good. But it doesn't force the decision. Are you with me on this? But when you send someone a personal invitation, hey, Sheila, here's my thing. Would you like to come? Now, if Sheila even knows you slightly, she's going to respond. And that forces the decision. And that is how you get smiles on the screen and derrieres in chairs. Now, there is a special technique, so you could do a ton of these in a short period of time. Facebook, this is on Facebook, Facebook geotargeting. I have a video for this on my free links page. If you watch this video, it's about 9 minutes. It will show you exactly how to do Facebook geotargeting. It's got nothing to do with ads. It's about searching and having everybody come on one page very quickly, and you don't even have to go to their page to send them a direct message. You'll be blissing when you watch this. The other thing on LinkedIn is, on LinkedIn, you can invite up to 1,000 people a week once you make an event. You do click off the box, you do check the box, which is not as personal. However, that invitation shows up where their connection requests show up. So what does that mean? That means you're going to get way more eyeballs on it than, because it's going to show up in that special place where they're looking for connections, rather than on Facebook where it just shows up in their notifications. Okay, my friends, I got a lifetime supply of more to discuss with you. I hope you will join us at the Shiro Speaker Summit to continue our discussion and on moving you towards mastery with your speaking and amplifying your business. We have a lot of great programs in our community. We have a phenomenal sales program. We have a phenomenal year-long speaker mastermind. I am always blissing to be with you, and I appreciate you. And here's what I want you to remember. You have massive value to bring. There is a lifetime supply of people to serve. It is your job to be loud and proud about your massive value. Get out there and speak more so you can sell more, and most importantly, you can serve more and uplift more lives with the amazing woman you are. Thanks, everybody. Ciao, ciao.
It was amazing. I don't know how much more we can learn this weekend. I feel like the journey has been awesome, and we have learned from every single speaker golden nuggets that we get to implement in our journey from solopreneur to CEO to make a bigger impact, make a bigger income, reclaim our time, and thrive in our zone of genius. If you have joined us for these 3 days, I appreciate you. Big thanks to every single person who showed up, even for one session all 3 days. I see a lot of familiar faces, so special thanks to all those who've been here all 3 days. I know it's a lot of your time commitment, and I value your time, and I appreciate your feedback. If you have any feedback for our speakers, please feel free to email me. You can simply reply to one of my emails. You can find me. I'll drop some links to my social media as well if you like. And we would really love to hear from you. All of our speakers put their hearts out, took their time to speak for free to you and share their free gifts and their special offers. So we want to give them some props. And I think what really means a lot to them is what resonated, what your takeaway was, because they're invested in our transformation and your transformation. If you missed any part of the session, you can still get the unlimited access pass, the VIP Next Level CEO, and you can find it on our website at the nextlevelsummit.com/VIP. I'll make sure I'll send it out in the email as well. The special pricing is through Sunday, and the bonuses expire on Sunday. So if you were thinking about it, if you're on the fence, go ahead and grab that before the bonuses expire and the price increases. And that includes not only unlimited access to all of the video replay, but I'm also creating a private podcast where you can listen to all the speakers on the go, re-listen, catch up on audio, so that when you are driving or sitting or at the beach or doing whatever you want to still listen and learn, you can have a replay in your pocket at any time. I know there's been a lot of great moments and great tips that I know I want to rewatch. So I think this is my way of serving you to give you all of that. Now the video will process probably a few hours, so this will not be available until tomorrow as far as the replay of all the speakers, but I'll have it ready by tomorrow. And feel free to jump on this offer of the VIP Next Level CEO. Again, thank you for joining us at the Next Level Entrepreneur Summit. I'm Justyna Nielsen, your host, virtual event and summit strategist. I can be found online at magneticbrandonline.com. If you'd like to talk to me, feel free to schedule a free consultation. It's also on my website. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This was a great event. Big shout out to all of our amazing speakers, every single one of them. I'm just so impressed. I've known a few of them in person and I've heard them talk, but what they shared is, I don't know about you, but I plan to implement many of these. We're very specific to the transformation from solopreneur to CEO, and I hope this saves you time. And thank you, Beverly, and thank you everyone for your kind comments. I know this was a great show. Deep gratitude going out to the world. Thank you.